Oh, Sean froze. Great.
I'm not frozen. I'm here.
You were for a second. Your eyes were like closed like that, and then the
I don't think
screen was
so.
moving.
That was just me. I was
What
pretending
up?
to be frozen.
It's
Hey, how you doing? I'm on Starfleet Boy After Dark.
yeah, in the daytime.
In the daytime. It's like a cheat.
This is where I put like streams that are not about the discussions, like the episode discussions. It's kind of like my whatever I want to do with space.
This is the very casual space.
This is a very casual space. However, for those tuning in, we're not going to cuss too much or anything. We're not drinking. We're just doing, it's just fun. So don't worry. It's a PG-13 chat, just like on.
Nope. I've got like one F-bomb. I'm allowed one F-bomb and like.
Yeah, you're allowed one on
one.
it. Get it out of your system. Don't do it now though.
No, I'm gonna use it wisely.
Save it for
I'm
something
use it
really
for like something impactful.
Well, it's weird to not like be in your presence, except to be virtual, because like now we know what each other looks like, and I know you're not as tall as I thought you were, which is something that
Can we comment on how you were talking about everyone's tallness or not
Yes.
so tallness?
Yes, I
That
must
was a
have a
thing.
complex.
That was a thing. Perhaps it's like a subconscious thing.
I have a
You were
complex
very
system.
interested with how everyone was like tall and or not tall, I guess.
And or not tall. Yeah, I didn't meet anyone taller than me. I mean, sorry, shorter than me.
Okay, I was gonna say.
Everyone was tall.
Did you see Braxton?
Audience, if you're in the I should update the banner. If you're in the audience checking us out, ask us anything you want about the Star Trek convention. Any question. We're experts now. We've been to our first conventions. We know everything. No, we're totally experts. We know everything. We know everything about the convention. Hey, what's up, Joel? Nice to see you. Is that Pat's Blue Ribbon? No, Pat's what? What does it say?
Pabst West Bank.
Oh, cool. Okay, interesting. Very nice. So shall we get started there, Toddy?
Yeah.
Tell me about how you planned. Like, when did you find out about the convention? When did you know you were gonna go? Like, what did you do to plan?
I think we all found out pretty much around the same time. Like when it was
announced.
This thing, yeah, I think we all kind of started planning and seeing if like we could do this one. But the fact that it was like closer to Montreal, I think motivated me more than like the Las Vegas things. Star Trek Las Vegas always seems like such a big kind of like investment.
Right.
And this one seemed fine. Like even like the dates. At my job, I asked them if I could leave it like around this time, and it worked out, so that was good. But planning, obviously, I had planned to come with a wife and a baby, like it was a family adventure originally. So that was going to happen. That was part of the plan, but we couldn't because there were like COVID restrictions in place at that time. So we had to take COVID tests. Everyone had to take COVID tests on the way there and on the way back, and it was very costly. It was like $200 for like one test, and we would have to take basically two each. So it was like $800 just for COVID tests, which is
wow,
a waste of money.
$800 for a COVID test?
Well, it's like $200, but you have to take one on the way and then one on the way back, and then wife would have to done that too. So it's like $400 each basically. So it's $800 just for tests. So that's crazy. So yeah,
our COVID tests are free at least. Thank goodness. I took a COVID test before I went.
It's changed now. It's just because they wanted like a really in-depth, back then, like back when it was first announced, they wanted like some really in-depth kind of like whatever test that they wanted for COVID. But now it's all fine. Anyway, so the planning changed, and I went alone, and I was looking for a roomie, and Fathery over at Text Drake hadn't found a hotel yet, so we became roomies.
Yeah, we were all kind of like looking for a good deal, and then I had a friend at Marriott who hooked me up with like a discount code, but it ended up being cheaper to just go through the the Star Trek website. They had like a little bit of a better discount than my friend did, which I was very surprised at.
I was too late because those went out really quick. Those went out with like the first few weeks, I think.
Right, that's true. But actually, I didn't book my hotel like right away. I think I dilly-dallied for a couple months. The tickets I bought pretty much right away. Yeah, because I was trying to think. We were all at one point we were talking about getting an Airbnb. At one point, just so you know, when we were planning it, there were four of us talking about it, which was Toddy and me, and then Fathery and Braxton.
Yeah.
Braxton and Fathery are both at work, and Toddy can't be on the Text Trek stream later, so we're just doing this impromptu kind of recap for ourselves. And I might use some of this material later in my personal journey video. So that's a good thing. Jill's question is, hi. My question, what is the tracking number for the Geordie Bear? You will get that tomorrow. I plan to send it out tomorrow. So you'll get your tracking number tomorrow. Oh, actually, you know what? I just realized I might have to send it next week. So hope you can wait.
Goodness.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I might send it next week, but it's coming. The Geordie Bear's on its way. By the way, let me go grab my Geordie Bear. Hold on. Toddy, keep everyone busy with more about planning while I go get my Geordie Bear.
More about planning? Oh, the most interesting part of it all. God damn. Well, I guess I can talk a little bit about my misadventure. Oh, well, that was very quick.
This is the Geordie Bear.
I gave my Geordie Bear to Baby on the Tube.
Did she like it?
She loves it. She was so happy.
Hello.
She loved it so much. She like tackled it to the ground with hugs.
Oh, really?
So,
it's such a huggable. It's a very like soft and huggable.
He's very kind. And yellow is Baby's favorite color.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Very cool.
She gives orange a pass. Like she'll agree on orange. It's fine. But it's yellow.
Wearing a vest underneath. Apparently, we found out from the internet. He's got like a little vest. Star Trek vest.
No, he's not wearing a vest. He's wearing the Deanna Troi workout.
Oh yeah, Jill's right. Like maybe I could just take the tribble out and put
That's a bit imposing.
Should Geordie Bear always be the?
That's a bit imposing, is it not?
It's a little bit imposing. It's true. That's funny. Yeah, so on my side, it was I was dilly-dallying a little bit on the hotels, and then I finally just thought, oh, let me make a move on this because it's gonna get like more expensive as time goes on. So I thought I would do that, but not for me, I immediately when I heard about Mission Chicago, I immediately stopped. Well, it helped that we were in a pandemic, but I immediately stopped spending money on entertainment and anything else that like
you're saving up for this event.
Yeah, I started saving up for this event, so it was kind of a tough year of not too much luxury in my life, not going to the restaurants I
want. All the luxury came like in these 3 days.
In these 3 days. It was totally worth it though. So that's one thing I recommend to anyone who's planning now to go to Star Trek Seattle is just, it's worth the sacrifice. You're gonna have so much fun those 3 days or however long you go that if you can manage it, save as much money as you can, because you will spend a lot. I think no matter what your budget is, you will probably want to spend more because
whatever your budget is, you'll go over that. That what you're saying?
Yeah, so you should probably do more. That's a good question. How much do all these photo ops and autographs cost? They're different prices. So like I did one for William Shatner. That's the only one that I did a photo op for, and it was $150. I understand he was the top tier, so everything else is like below that. And then I got 2 autographs, and those were like $60 each, I want to say. And you get to pick a photo. And what I liked about the booths and the autographs, Jill, is that like everything, it's very clear. Like there's like a whole like section with just all the actors sitting at booths, and you can kind of tell who's like, for Kate Mulgrew, the line was like endless all the time, but for the other actors, like not so much. Not that they didn't have people going to it, but it was like a lot less than the Kate Mulgrew. So what I did is like, okay, I'll go to this person and this person because they don't have a huge line, like, because I just didn't want to wait like in a line. What about you? How did you find the did you do a photo op, or you just did?
I didn't do a photo op because this is just a personal thing. I was disappointed that I couldn't like do a photo op and have them sign it. You know what I mean? Like I would have to, I guess, do the pay for like the autograph and bring my photo up so that they would sign that. I found that a bit disappointing, but also like I don't know, I'm not too keen. I don't necessarily need photo ops. What I got is I got 2 autographs, like to Trek on the Tube to go with. I don't know where he is. He's somewhere up there. There's like a Jason Isaacs sitting up there that's signed to Trek on the Tube.
Gotcha.
And so I wanted to get a couple more like for the channel. I think they set their own prices. The standard is about $60 for an autograph, I think. Cause
Yeah, I think so.
I think Doug Jones was about 60. What did you pay 60 for? Like Michelle
Hurd and Evan Evagor. I believe they're both the same price.
Okay. Jack Quaid said his a bit lower. He was about like 40.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, it doesn't necessarily I think like depend on fame or like the investment in the shows or how much screen time they have. I think it really is just like how much they want or how much like their agents maybe tell them what a good price it would be.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, I think it's just like a personal choice how they go with it. Maybe the con takes a cut. I don't know. Don't know how it works.
Well, yeah. I
Maybe
guess
Valerie knows more about that.
Yeah, we'll ask tonight on Tech Track about all that stuff. Yeah. As a professional.
But yeah, no,
We're
I
experts
went
but
to,
not professional.
I went to Doug Jones's line because I saw that like he was near leaving, so not that they were cutting people off, but they were like the line was shorter. So I just like kind of slipped in like last minute. And then
that's the other thing I didn't understand until we got there. I thought I would be able to do a lot more. You end up, the reality of it is like it's really hard to do everything you want to.
Yeah. I will say that this con, I think from what I understand, was very small.
Yeah.
Compared to like Las Vegas.
Las Vegas. Yeah.
So that's fine with me because it enabled us to do
a lot more.
I suppose, yeah, it enabled me to do pretty
yeah.
much everything I wanted to do. If I had been there the first day and if I had done like 3 days, I think I would have really accomplished everything I wanted to do. But like when you go to a panel, an official panel for like the Strange New Worlds panel or like this Discovery panel or whatever it is, like that lasts a couple hours. No, what is it? Like maybe 1 hour, or is it 30 minutes each panel?
I think they were like, yeah, anywhere from 20 minutes to 45 minutes.
Okay, so like, and then of course you have to take into consideration the time, like you have to get there a little early just to get like the spots that you enjoy, like so that you're not too far away from the stage. So that takes up a lot of time. And so yeah, Kate Mulgrew was indeed, Jill, the most popular person there. Like her line would, because they would all have like these designated lines which were pretty long, that were like, I guess, fenced out, but like her line would exceed the fences and then create like a snake, and it would be like that for forever. Like I would go to a panel and then I would come back and then the line would still be as long or longer. So I was just like, I can't do this. So maybe next time, if I manage to go to another convention and she's there and she's signing autographs, I will purposefully like skip a panel or be like, you know what, I'm doing the Kate Mulgrew. So I can get an autograph. Yeah, this is Doug Jones.
Yeah, PJ's in the audience. He says, "Did Doug Jones kiss you, Toddy?"
Yes, he did. He kissed me. He hugged me. He stroked my back and patted me. He was very kind. He's just the nicest soul. And he did the same to Matt as well. Matt came with me.
Yeah, and, our friend Matt, who's been on this. Here, let me see if I can show that picture.
So shout out to like these actors, shout out to Doug Jones that let me take pictures, because technically you're not really allowed. Like, you know, you got the agents next to him doing their job, kind of like they don't really want you to take pictures because, you know, they have photo ops and you're supposed to pay for like the official pictures that you take with them. But, you know, these actors, they're like really kind and genuine, and if they have the time.
David Ajala was like super, right. Yeah, it was very cool.
If they can find the time to take a selfie with you, they will. But then you have to understand also that like if you want a selfie, then like, they might get inundated and flooded with all of these other people that want the same thing. So it's kind of like they have to balance it out. Like they have to go to places, right? Like they have to be at specific panels or doing specific photo ops at certain times. So you can't just like drown them like with fans when they're on the floor walking around.
No, exactly. By the way, there was the way that it was spread out is they had a main stage where they did all the like big panels. They had this like dealer room slash autograph photo op area with a food court. And then they had a bunch of other smaller rooms where they would do the various breakout panels and
Hmm.
other panels and stuff like that. There was a lot. There was definitely a lot to attend, and I didn't get to attend all the panels I wanted to, so I was bummed about that. Um, let's see here. Jill says, I didn't expect Kate to be the most popular. I would have been at Sid's booth. Sid was there.
He
He
was
was
there.
there. He was
He was
there. It was
there.
very cool. Have either of you met Nichelle Nichols? She's really the only one I would have traveled to see. I met her, and I don't think it like so. I'll tell the William Shatner experience in a bit, but I don't think it would have been the same. I met her at Florida SuperCon. And since the emphasis at that was not on Star Trek, you could spend more time with the Star Trek people because everyone else was there for other things. So they didn't get inundated. Like I got to spend a little bit of time with Jonathan Frakes, and I got to spend a little bit time. Actually, I got to spend a lot of time. It felt like with Nichelle Nichols. Like I really got the sense of an experience with her. But with William Shatner, it was like literally like, just like you were there. You saw how fast that thing was.
I saw the
Like,
line moving.
yeah, it was so insane how fast that was going. But I still, and I'll tell you more about it. But I still felt a moment of connection, which was really nice. And then let's see here. Yeah, there might have been some. Was it you? Did Kate Mulgrew give like a hint that or someone asked if she's going to be in Picard? I think I felt like at one of the panels, but I
Really?
can't remember.
I don't remember that.
There was something I don't remember. What is your thinking on why Kate was so popular? Well, I think after seeing her on the Star Trek Prodigy panel and the way she speaks about Star Trek and the way she kind of like
Know what you're gonna say? I agree.
she yeah, she's she's like an ambassador, and like she just like really was tuned in and very supportive and encouraging. Like even the panelists like she was talking about this idea of found family, and Kate Mulgrew like paused for a moment and like inspected it and like deconstructed it and then was like, this is good, I like this found family, you know. And it was just delightful. I think she's like really a refreshing perspective, like having the female perspective plus like the older female perspective is really nice, you know. So we have Michael Burnham, we have Sonequa Martin Green giving the more younger like contemporary perspective, and you have Kate Mulgrew with like a bigger broader kind of perspective as well. But also just again her inclusivity of the children in the Star Trek Prodigy panel was just the most delightful thing. I hope that gets released
Yeah.
somehow. It was just so cute. There
For
was a
people
little
that
girl
don't know
dressed
what
as Naomi Wildman. What's
for
that?
people that don't know what we're talking about, like basically every panel would end with a Q&A. So, fans would line up at the mic and you could ask questions. But of course, there were kids lining up for the Prodigy panel. And so we got through like maybe a couple adults. And when the first kid, like little girl, asked her first question, then it was like the panel just decided, like, let's move all the kids to the front so all of the kids can have time to ask their questions. And that was truly delightful. I think everyone got a bit teary-eyed with a couple of the kids there.
I just realized I had like a red alert background. It's not like
What are you doing?
It's not very cool.
To piggyback off what you're saying with Kate Mulgrew, I think that not only Voyager is getting like more, I guess, reconnaissance that it was getting like before. It's getting more like love than it had when it initially came out. But I think Voyager is in like a very special position where it's kind of linking and connecting, I think, a younger audience to an older audience of Star Trek, because it was really bridging that gap. And then like to further emphasize bridging that gap, we now have Prodigy, which is kind of like Prodigy is to like Voyager in a sense, kinda what Picard is to TNG, right?
Yeah.
And so it's emphasizing the whole like new audience and older audience even more because it's made for kids. And I think that Kate Mulgrew was like a huge inspiration for like so many women over time and over the run of its show. And I think a lot of people like younger like me could maybe relate to like the motherly kind of figure that she was for them. So I think Kate Mulgrew is like in this position where she's like the mother of Star Trek, you know what I mean? Like the current kind of, as you say, ambassador for the franchise.
Yeah, I am happy with her being our Star Trek mother. She's so wonderful.
Yeah, and she's so not only inclusive towards like all of these kids, but she really believes in the fact that they're our future, and she loves them like so much, and she's so supportive, um, and so like complimentary about how like intelligent and passionate all of these kids are. So it makes sense that she would like, if she becomes like the face of like the, I guess, the contemporary or the modern era of Star Trek, that wouldn't surprise me one bit.
I think it's already happening too. Yeah, I think they're. She seems to do a lot of videos online, and just like with the
Yeah,
commentaries that
like
she gives and
how in
stuff.
the
Yeah,
past we've always had I guess William Shatner, like James T. Kirk, like would be on all of the promo and everything. Like I
right.
feel like there might be a shift towards like having Kate Mulgrew, and of course like all of the Sonequa Martin Green and all of these other actors and characters from the newer shows are going to stay around, because you got to keep your current shows like in the posters and what have you. But I do feel like Kate Mulgrew is going to kind of like spearhead this I guess this new genre, ambassadorial movement that you're talking about here.
Yeah, 100%. I think she's like the. Yeah, like she's yeah. I 100%
There's so much
agree.
love for her.
Yeah,
Like the fact that she was on the panel, like there was just so much love for her, right?
she also did a book reading which I couldn't attend because I had to do something else. But did you get to go to that book reading?
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay.
It's so hard to find, like, you're looking at the schedule and like there's so many things happening, but there's so many things happening at the same time as well, right? So you have to kind of like select. And then sometimes you just get caught up talking to people on the floor. You know what I mean? And so like
Yeah.
you don't
Yeah,
have
there's
time to
moments where you're
attend.
like having a conversation. Yeah, like there were things I was surprised that even by day 3 when they were closing up, I still was discovering new things on the main floor, like and stuff like that that I hadn't noticed. Jill says this makes me very happy that Kate is finally being appreciated that way. I can't wait to see the real Janeway in action in the rest of Prodigy season 1. Oh, by the way, we can't talk about it. We're sworn to secrecy, but we did see something awesome for Star
Yeah, we
Trek
got a few
Prodigy.
sneak peeks
Yeah,
for
and we're
like
not allowed
the
to say
various shows. We're
anything.
not allowed to talk about them.
Yeah, so you'll see them though. I have a feeling
I
Star Trek's
think,
going to
are
be
we not allowed to
releasing
talk
those
about
things.
them? I don't want to
We're
take
not
any
allowed to talk
risks.
about them.
Okay.
We're not allowed to. I'll remind you of what we're doing because I took notes.
I know we're not allowed to film them. Of course, that makes sense. But anyway.
I don't
Yeah,
want to give spoilers. Anyway, that was a big spoiler, don't you think? The one for Prodigy,
the one for Prodigy?
the one in the
Yeah,
beginning of the panel.
I feel like it was. I
Yeah,
feel
so
like
yeah, we should.
everything we saw was pretty big. Like they were showing us
Yeah,
pretty big things. I mean, of course, they're not gonna show us like just some, you know, boring stuff, right? They gotta show you
right,
stuff to get you hype.
right. One thing we can say though, everyone here who's loving on Prodigy, is that the basically Kate Mulgrew said that it's going to be interesting because you're going to see lots of secrets revealed, and also many more aspects of Janeway, not just Hollow Janeway, and uh, but other aspects.
Mm.
And the impression I got was that from what she said, it was like going to be like a here's Admiral Janeway on the hunt for the protostar, and then Hollow Janeway's thwarting her attempts. So it's kind of like a Janeway versus Janeway.
Janeway v Janeway kind of situation.
Yeah, so it'll
Yeah,
be
we
interesting. Yeah,
didn't get any like we can't even spoil anything because we didn't get any like official spoilery responses. But there was a lot of questions, a lot of people wondering if like other characters from Voyager, from like Deep Space Nine and all that, were gonna come back.
like
And
Captain Harry Kim.
yeah, so we got not Captain, no, thank you, but no, we got a lot of like kind of cryptic responses because of course the producers in the show, they can't talk about this. They don't want to reveal
Yeah,
everything. I'm sure they're not even allowed. But it like the responses were like I interpreted them as like the current Star Trek shows, they're gonna make the most of having like all of these actors around and willing to come back. Like if actors want to come back, they'll find a way to like write them into a story, and if it suits the story, like because I think the Hageman brothers said something about well, it was just Dan, I think, that was there. What he said something about like using the characters like that are there in the timeline, like that, like they exist in that time and in that era. So like you might as well use them, like if it fits your story and if it makes sense narratively. So I'm
right.
hype about seeing characters come back. The same way like Tom Paris came back for Lower Decks, right?
Yeah, it was really awesome. And who knows, we might get a little Tom Paris action, and who knows who else. Oh, and they did also tell. Joel says Murph is Janeway. They did tell us on the panel, the regular part is that you can probably expect some kind of metamorphosis from Murph.
They said a metamorphosis.
Yeah, a metamorphosis. Yes.
This is in the next following 10 episodes though. This is not like this isn't like the next part of the first season.
Joel wants to know if we signed an NDA. No, but we did. We promised.
Yeah.
Our word is our bond, right? They made us promise. They were like very adamant.
They made us like basically swear to not talk about it or not like But they very gently told you that like if you film something, they will throw you out.
Yeah, they were very nice about it. They would say things like we're gonna.
Phone.
Yeah, they were saying things like we're gonna make you go watch the first 20 minutes of Star Trek the motion picture on loop. If you film anything, we'll take you in the back and make you watch.
Yeah,
that.
which is like we're gonna take your tickets, we're gonna take your phone, and you're not coming back in, basically.
Before we go back to the real quick about travel, so for me personally, Toddy, I don't know how you are. You're a little younger, so maybe you have more stamina for these things. But I flew in a day early on purpose, just so I could have like a whole day to settle down, rest, get my bearings, things like that. That was the plan. I didn't stick to that plan. I drank a little. I got to meet so many fun people, so I drank a little too much. So I was very, very tired the next day. But the original plan, and if I had stuck to it, I would have been very fresh for day one. But tell us a little bit about your travels, because you encountered like an actual problem. You didn't make it to day one.
Yeah, well, I mean, from the get-go, COVID has affected like travel in the way that like planes aren't filling up as much.
Right.
So the company that I was going with, from what I understand, they like cut down on like the amount of planes that they have and like what have you. So I was initially supposed to arrive a day early, but like I think late morning. But then my planes got changed, like they all got canceled, and they gave me new flights, and so I arrived a day early, but in the afternoon. So I wanted to have like half a day to just chill out, like you, just chill out, and so I would have arrived like later in the afternoon. So by the time I got to the hotel, it would have been like evening, and I would have had like an evening to chill out. Sadly, and then I would have got there the first day. I would have arrived on Friday, but sadly, I didn't have the correct documentation to get into the US.
Yeah, you needed something called an ESTA.
Yeah, so for anyone that is
traveling internationally,
not North American, and for everyone that's going to the US, you need to sign something called an ESTA, ESTA. You can do it online. It takes basically 5 minutes to do it online, and then there's like a 72-hour like delay for them to reply to you. So if you're going to the US in over 72 hours, then you're fine. You're safe. You'll get your ESTA back approved. They just do like a quick background check and verify that everything's fine with you, and that's it. Except I didn't do that. I had done it a long time ago, like 4 or 5 years ago when I went to Ticonderoga with Trekker Prize, but I had forgotten that this was needed and necessary, so I couldn't get on the plane. They wouldn't even let me board the plane that was going from Montreal to Toronto. Because that's not even going to the US, right? But
right, you figured you could just hang out in Toronto or whatever, right?
Yeah, I thought, look, I'll go to Toronto and then I'll wait for it like to be approved.
Why wasn't it a direct flight? Why couldn't you go Montreal to? Because aren't you going backwards? Aren't you going back?
Yeah, but
further north or whatever.
Well, I don't know if every company's done this, but the company I was using, they've stopped direct flights because like there's not enough people doing direct like Montreal to Chicago at the moment. So what they do is they have but they do have a lot of people going to Toronto, and then they have a lot of people going from Toronto to Chicago. So what they do is basically every flight's connected flights now. You know
Interesting.
What I mean? Yeah, I mean, hopefully eventually it'll get back to normal, and I mean, maybe a lot of people that are like worried for the environment thinks it's maybe better. They're cutting down on like the amount of planes that they have flying. I don't really know, but yeah. Anyway, that's why I had to connect. But anyway, I arrived a day late. I don't feel like I missed too much on the Friday though. I would have enjoyed attending the Deep Space Nine and the Enterprise panels.
Right.
But I managed to see the people that managed to see me, that like wanted to see me or that I wanted to see, in the following days. So
they had this timeline that we've seen online, and everyone was telling you. It was really funny to hear people saying, "Oh, this should be the Trek on the Tube
People were saying that, yeah. What's interesting
timeline."
too is this is the timeline without the Discovery show in it that they
Yeah,
forgot to correct. That like they corrected it after Nick told them. Remember, like
right.
Kowalski had told them, "You guys forgot Discovery," so they fixed it. But this is not the one. This is not the fixed one. This is a miss. I can't look at that.
uh, I had opted for the VIP tickets, which gave me an hour to go in before everyone else. And the first thing I did is I bought all the merch. So I'm wearing one of the things right now. I'll show you here. Let me see. You can see. Oh, how does it go? There we go. So this is the official Star Trek Mission Chicago shirt with the bean on it. I used to call it the Skygate, which apparently is its proper name, but I found out from Chicagoans that the artist is an a-hole, so we purposely call it the Bean.
Oh my goodness.
But they had a lot of cool merch, including I think the Geordie Bear was probably the most popular
Iconic.
thing. Yeah, the most iconic, perhaps popular thing. But there were a lot of other things, including they had the fractal neuronic, the Soji Daj necklace, which I bought, which I'm very excited about. I'm gonna see if my mom wants it. If she doesn't, I'll just wear it, whatever. But I think she'll want it. So yeah. Jill says, when I lived in Buffalo, we'd drive across the border for beer and cheap gas, like going to the mall. No passports, easy peasy. Yes, gas was cheaper. Weird, right? Oh, that's that's neat. You could just go to Canada without a passport or
Well,
anything. The world,
Canadian citizens can like easily move to the like they can go to the US, right? Like they don't need any documentation, like apart from their like Canadian citizenship. But I'm not yet a Canadian citizen. I have a permanent
oh, I see.
residency.
Gotcha.
Um, yeah.
Was there a per person limit on the Geordie Bears? I didn't ask, but I saw someone who had like 4 or 5 of them.
No,
So
no,
I
they
think
didn't.
they
They
had
didn't even sell
plenty of
them
Geordie
all.
Bears. What's that?
They didn't even sell them all. I think they planned enough because they have like a few leftovers that they're selling on whatever website at the moment.
Yeah. Day one, real quick. One of the things that was cool is there was a company, John Fluvoke, I think it is, who makes the Strange New World boots. So they were selling those, but you couldn't actually buy them. You had to try them on. So like they had all the different sizes, and you could try them on, and then you could then they'll ship you your size. But here's the other variant, the white uniform variant. So you saw these, right?
Yeah, I saw those. I saw those. I had a look and I was like saying, "Oh, maybe I'll buy a pair," but then like the was a bit steep for me, so I was like, "Nah, I'll leave it be."
Yeah, 500. I think it was what, $400 or $500 for it. Here's the prop store. They do all the Star Trek auctions, and they had all the like season one and some season two uniforms on display, which was pretty cool. So you could see that here. There's like Elnor's thing as well. Here's Admiral Picard from season two. And then, oh, here's a little video. I don't know if the audio is going to play, though. Let me see. Do you guys hear the audio from this
No, I don't
video?
think so. I don't think we hear anything.
Okay, that's fine. Well, this video is of the skulls from Star Trek Picard Season 2. It was really neat to see them up close. They're so beautiful. Did you hear me saying, alas, poor Sarek, I knew him well?
No,
No, that's okay,
I,
then.
I I can't hear the audio.
I'm going to have to upload it somewhere else for the audio, then.
Joel says no audio.
Let me see. I can do this. Hold on. I can do this. Like Chekhov, he's like, I can do this. I can do this. Hold on, let me create a folder. I should just throw these into that Google Drive as we're doing this. Should I multitask for everyone?
Well, the Google Drive is like for us though. It's not for like the audience. You're not multitasking for the audience here. You're just disrupting your own stream. What are you doing?
Hey, I told you it was very casual and informal. Wait, so photos. Let's see, photos, videos.
I hope everyone that went to the con and that are now back at work already today. I hope everyone's having a good day at work. It must be rough. Like I purposefully like planned my I guess vacation so that I could have a couple days at home after. Like
Yeah,
I didn't want I didn't want to go back to work like immediately. Like last night, I was like, oh, I don't want to go back there. Not that I don't
I
like my job, just that like you're off the high of the convention, I guess. And I didn't want to get like bummed out immediately with like having to deal with work.
I had a different reason, which is as an older person, I need more time to recover from travel, in general. So I also I also did not book. I did also not go back to work immediately. But I'm also visiting some family and friends, cleaning up around the house, like things like that. So it's not like unproductive at all. But all right, here we've got the video here. Let me see. So now you can
You
kind
can
of,
do it. You
yeah, I
can
can
do it.
do it. I can do it. I can do it. Hold on. Share video file. And then you just go like this. All right, so we'll put this up. All right. Now do you see?
It's working.
That's the new Strange New Worlds Enterprise. And later on, Toddy, they shut those the lights off. So this is the only chance we'll get to see with the lights, right? You didn't see the lights on the.
I didn't see the lights on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
you get
beautiful.
you get to hear me say, "It's beautiful, it's beautiful, it's beautiful, it's true." I have more videos from the panels as well, which I'll share a little bit of also.
To be clear, though, that model is just like a model. They're not using that for like any screen. It's not getting any screen use, right? Everything we see, like in Stranger Worlds, is going to be like fully CG. They're not using
That's
that
correct.
model for. Yeah, it's not like the Mandalorian where they did build a couple models and they're using a couple models.
Right. No, I believe it was created as a reference model for the CGI artists.
Okay.
Because it was on loan from the Star Trek archive.
Okay.
So yeah, that's how I think that was.
Well, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's what I think it was. What it was doing. But anyway, so day one. Let me actually pull up the Star Trek.
Yeah, I'm gonna discover your day one.
Yeah, I'll tell you what I did on. We were able to schedule our own itinerary. That was one of the nice things about the app, is that you could choose. Did you use the app, Toddy? You did, right?
Basically not. I just looked at it.
And then decided where you were gonna go.
No, I looked at it to see like up until like what time like the photo ops were, the autographs were happening, or like what kind of panels were happening at what time.
Right.
But I went like, I have been very organized and very like scheduled in like my time, I guess. Like I have done that when I've gone to New Zealand, and tried to like plan out trips with like friends or whatever. But this time I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna go with the flow. I'm gonna like follow Fathery around. I'm gonna follow Braxton around. That was me. I was just like, this time I don't care, I'll just move. And then when I noticed that sometimes it's like, okay, well, if I don't go do this one myself, then we ain't gonna go do that. So like when I wanted to get the Jack Quaid autograph, it's like, okay, I'm gonna take some time and I'm gonna go do that. That's how I did it. I was fed up with getting NFT notifications from the app.
Yeah, that was pretty annoying. The app did give NFT notifications,
but I couldn't turn off like the notifications on the app because I was like, maybe I'll miss something. If I turn off the notifications on the app, it's already gone though. I've already deleted it from my phone.
Oh, you have? I'm keeping it because it actually shows you all the things that like all the first the little things that you did, so it was pretty cool. I might keep it for a little while. But I chose like all my things, so maybe if you didn't,
they'll probably down it eventually, right? Or they'll switch it, they'll update it to like the Mission Seattle one.
Yeah. Oh, before we go to Will Wheaton, I want to show this little video.
Yeah,
so
one of the PJ, that's what I was saying. NFT, not for Trekkies.
This is these little pendants that honor what appears to be fallen ships. Did you see those?
Yeah, where were those? Oh, those
in the Strange New Worlds exhibit. Yeah. So I thought that was cool.
I think I missed that.
It has disco in there, so
The USS Congo.
Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
Let me see. Why is this one? How can I do this? Remove from studio. This is cool. StreamYard has some new features on the back end. But anyways, the first panel I went to, the very first panel of day one, was Will Wheaton.
Oh, really?
And yeah, so he opened the whole show. And actually, let me just share his.
The line for Will Wheaton like autographs was actually pretty big.
Yeah, yeah, totally. We were talking last night about whether he would be on in Star Trek Picard, and I think he is. I think it's a publicity stunt that he says he's not. What do you think?
I don't know. All I've heard is that he's writing fan fiction about himself. Like, I guess ironic, like little funny fan fiction about himself being in the episode, being like in an episode of Picard season 3 or something like that.
What's that?
He wrote himself into like an episode. He like published like an episode.
Oh yeah,
with a
yeah, he
script of, like
did.
himself. I think that's like an ironic thing or like a humor thing. I don't know. I don't know if he's gonna be in there.
Yeah,
Well,
but
I guess they didn't put his name, so is that why everyone's like worried? Like his name wasn't in the.
in the credits, yeah, in the thing. But here he is.
Will, everybody! Will, welcome. You cannot see that I'm smiling, but I promise you I am. Good morning, everybody. Thanks for having me.
He was a real.
He had his own panel. Like he had his own thing. Like George Takei and William Shatner and
Yeah.
Coney.
Yeah, he was also promoting a book that he just wrote, which I'm gonna check out and see. I think he's written. This is the second book he's written, but like I guess it's gonna talk about his life experiences as well as his experiences on TV and I'm sure including Star Trek. It was a very just to give a little quick recap of that panel because I'm sure we'll go into details later on Text Track, but personally I was very touched by it. I knew from listening to Gates McFadden's podcast Investigates that Will Wheaton didn't have a very good childhood, but the way he described what place he's in his life now was really beautiful. How he said that he wouldn't change anything because he loves everything about his life right now, and everything in the past, just like tapestry, I guess, right? Everything in the past that happened, good and bad, brought him to where he is, and so he wouldn't change anything. But it was cool to hear him talk about that. Again, he confirmed that he was not in Star Trek Picard. Season 3 is what he said, but again, I don't know, I'm a little suspicious. And yeah, overall it was a great way to kick off.
He might have a cameo because the list of names that we saw, they called it joining the main cast, right?
Yeah, or something like that. Yeah.
So I think maybe he's not like main. Maybe he'll get a like Beverly's his mother, right? I know he's off doing traveler things, but no, he was back in Nemesis. So like maybe he's in between travelings, So I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure he'll have a little moment.
Jill is asking which Strange New Worlds actors were at the convention. I can't recall seeing them featured in a lot of fan pics. I have some photos to show from Strange New Worlds, but I'll get to that in a second. But I will say that it was Anson Mount, Ethan Peck, Rebecca Romaine, and
Celia Gooding.
Yeah, Celia Gooding. That was the whole panel. So yeah, that was it.
Those were the actors, and then the showrunner that they had with them, like the executive producer, I forget his name.
Oh, here I can tell you right now. I think
so. It's not Akiva Goldsman. It's another guy, and he's the one that's gonna be like I suppose lead on like the executive side. That he's gonna be like the hands-on executive producer for like Strange New Worlds at the moment. I forget his name. I don't recall, but yeah. So those were the people that were at the panel.
Oh, it doesn't say on the app who it was, but yeah, it was just. I was a little. Speaking of the panels, like for that one, we'll talk more about it. But I was a little surprised we didn't get like Akiva Goldsman and maybe some more actors. But I kind of understand. We found out some insight from Wilson Cruz online that maybe not everyone was asked properly to attend. So who knows? Yeah, a little bit. And Joel says, I think Will Wheaton will have a cameo in Picard season 3. I think so too. After the after the Will Wheaton panel, you had a little time to go walk around, and then there was the and then there was the Enterprise panel, and that was pretty cool. I think I have a video for that too. Hold on, let me see. Do I have a video for that? Yes, I do. Here it comes. Okay. And let's see, queuing it up. All right, here we go.
Not bad.
See that one. Welcome. That was.
Oh, I can control the volume. Sorry. There we go.
Can you hear me? Can you guys hear us? Is that on?
DJ says, I didn't see Anson, but I heard his hair was there.
This might have been like one of his first ones trying to do this. That was a terrible introduction of us. Hey guys, put your hands together for Connor Trenier. Dominic Keating. And Anthony Montgomery.
They all look pretty good.
They look great, right? They could totally go back into those uniforms.
He's new. We're gonna work him in. We love y'all. How y'all doing?
Anthony
He's
has
new.
so much
Yeah,
energy, right?
can we have
He's great, yeah.
this one is,
I was able to ask him, or I said, I made a comment like, you guys can still come back, and he goes, that ship has sailed, my friend.
Oh, no.
So that was a little bit sad. But no, they were great. They were talking about their experiences, a little bit about the Shuttle Pod one, which is Dominic Keating and Connor Trenier's podcast. Have you checked that out on YouTube yet?
No. So they're doing like a Delta Flyers kind of thing.
Exactly.
Okay,
exactly.
That's cool. That's
And
interesting.
apparently, in a few weeks, they're going to record an interview with Rick Berman. They landed Rick Berman.
Okay. I don't know how that's
So
gonna
that'll
go
be
down
really
with
interesting.
the
Yeah, I wonder
fandom.
how. What's that?
I wonder how that's gonna go down with the fandom, but
Well, not just the fandom, but I wonder if they're going to ask some of the tough questions. Like
they're gonna
that's
get
the thing.
topical.
Yeah, that's the thing I'm really curious about. Is like, are they gonna go into those questions with him and get topical exactly? But either way, they're gonna have him on, so that's kind of an interesting thing for those of you who are curious about that stuff. I also have this other clip here from the here. Let me see here. Let me share this real quick. Oh, this is. Hold on, let me see if I can. So this is this is Connor Trenier asking for the audience to do a picture. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. Give me 1 second here.
Was it Aaron Baez? Was that the name of the guy for the Strange New Worlds panel?
No.
Because I'm looking at these top executive producers, Henry Alonso Myers. These names give you
Wait, for Strange New Worlds?
yeah. I think it was Aaron Baez, right?
I think it was maybe.
I think that's
I
the
think it
name.
was.
Freak out. So, do you want to go We Love Shuttle Pod Show?
Can you do that?
Yes.
Yeah. All right, let's do a rehearsal. On 3. 1.
I'm gonna shoot the rehearsal.
Shoot the rehearsal. We'll shoot it all. Yeah. On 3. We Love Shuttle Pod Show. Hello, Janie. Hello. Hello. 1.
Let me see it. Go on. 1, 2, 3.
We love Shuttle
Oh, nailed it!
Yeah, it was fun. So sorry you missed that, Toddy. It was really, really fun.
Yeah, that seems fun. Yeah, those are the two things that I feel like I missed. Like, not to throw shade at Will Wheaton or anything, but like the two things that I would have liked to have seen is like the Enterprise panel and the Deep Space Nine panel. But then everything else that was on the floor, like most of I was able to do in the following days. I feel.
You want to see the little introduction for the Deep Space Nine panel?
Yeah, show me.
All right, let me pull it up here.
Jill is asking what questions. She doesn't know about the drama.
There's just a lot of drama because Rick Berman's been kind of rude to several members of like the TNG cast. At the time, he's known to have been very homophobic, and just kind of like his choices about objectification of women and like forcing Jerry Ryan to, for example, to wear that tight outfit that she couldn't even breathe in, and just a lot of like little things and big things throughout his run have made him a figure. Denise Crosby very openly contradicted him when he wrote a tweet about something like, Denise Crosby gave me this memento from the last day of filming for her, which was her badge, right? And so and he made a tweet about it, and then she responded, she's like, no, you ripped that off my shirt and said you won't be needing that anymore. And
Ouch.
So yeah, there's just like a few things like that.
Yeah, I don't know too much about it, but like a lot of the fandom have talked about like kind of like the inappropriate nature of like, I guess, how he is, you know, on set. Like there's a difference between like the creative that Rick Berman is and kind of like the individual that he is.
Right.
But I don't know enough about the topic. I'm not well versed in like everything, but I know that there is drama. Like there is controversy.
So for the DS9 panel, Nana Visitor was late. She didn't arrive on time, but she came in like during the panel. But here's her.
This is
here's
my
the introduction.
First con, even though I've been a lifelong Star Trek fan, and I'm all the way dead. Because I was in the green room and like everybody was in there, like George Takei was in there, like I was like, oh my god, is this really happening? So I am so excited. I am as excited as you.
George
to be
Takei
here.
was already
Are we
there?
ready?
Yeah.
To
Even
kick
a day
off
early then?
the Deep Space Nine panel.
They didn't screen a full episode of Strange New Worlds.
Okay,
They screened. We can't describe it, but they screened a bridge scene.
Yeah, we saw the first bridge scene.
Yeah, we saw like a bridge scene.
Yeah. There's Chase
nothing-
Masterson. What were you gonna say?
No, I was gonna say there's nothing too much to describe about like the Strange New Worlds bridge scene anyway. I guess all we can really say, that isn't a spoiler at all, is like it's not action explosions or anything. It kind of feels like a what you would expect a Star Trek bridge scene to be. It's people on the bridge. There's no like Dutch angles. There's no fancy lighting. It's just a nicely lit, colorful bridge with people sitting at their posts and doing Star Trek things.
Yeah, there aren't that many. I mean, honestly, I think that scene's gonna come out soon. I think everything they showed is probably gonna come out at some point soon.
I would think so.
Yeah.
Hey, Daniel.
Daniel, we had dinner with Daniel. It was really awesome to meet you in person, Daniel. We also, Arthur's not in the chat right now. But we met Arthur Lamoureux and his partner Walt, so that was really cool as well. So that was really nice, and lots of other people. There's so many people that we met. Too many to mention everyone, but of course the YouTubers, we met Jessie Gender, who's amazing. She gives so much of her time. She's so generous. She's like really wonderful. I met a lot of podcasters and other Twitter friends like Heather Ray. I don't know if you guys follow her, but she's pretty cool. Of course, Matt, but he's on our podcast, so we met him. Dr. Patrick Patterson was there, and he was great. I love meeting him as well. Dr. Erin McDonald was very accessible. She was hanging out with everyone. It was cool. It was really, that's the other cool thing, is you get to meet a lot of people that you've seen online, and that's one of the best parts about it. Let me go back to my day one pictures, because I have a few more. Oh wait, so after
That's not true.
What's that?
Gilbert Gottfried has passed away.
Oh no.
Now? I'm sorry, I'm putting a bummer on this. I'm just like...
Yeah, you always talk about dead people on my show. You always announce the dead.
It's coming out like now though.
Well, rest in peace, Gilbert Gottfried. We love you. And
Yeah,
he was on Star Trek,
absolutely.
wasn't he?
Was he?
I feel like he might have been.
Perhaps. No, apparently not.
You also missed the Star Trek Lower Decks panel, didn't you?
No, I was there.
That was day
that
two?
was on Saturday. Yeah,
Oh, that was.
that was on Saturday. I was hyped. I got
right.
a picture with them.
Oh yeah, duh, sorry.
I photobombed myself.
There were a lot of cool other panels on day one that we went to, and then
I'm not the Reaper. I announce the dead once they have died. I don't like. I don't announce them before it happens. Come on. May he rest in peace.
He does this every time. He did.
He's a loved soul, I think.
He does this every time. It's like someone dies. Rappers usually, by the way, is what. And I'm like, I don't know who that is. You don't know who that is? No. And then he gets mad. Like,
Well, you know who Gilbert Gottfried
of course, he's a treasure. I'm sad about it, but
Yeah.
I don't know what to do. Like, I don't know. What are we supposed to just stop? Like, have a moment? Should we have a moment of silence for Gilbert? I think we should.
is. Gonna have a moment.
All right, there we go. We did it. Share your. PJ says saw Gilbert live a few years ago. Was 2 feet away from him. That's awesome. He was a
Pretty
brilliant comedian. So that is very nice. Let's see here. Where is my thing? For day one, afterwards, there were little hangouts everywhere. I stuck around my hotel. But that's the other thing is, like, after the convention ends, you can go and have a lot of fun meeting friends, or you can just go back to your hotel and chill out if you want to as well. One thing that was neat about this convention is the McCormick Place Convention Center is this huge, massive convention center. Like, they can host like 3, maybe even 4 small conventions at the same time, I guess, right?
Yeah,
and then
it was a whole complex, right? They
Yeah.
had like multiple buildings joining up. They had concert halls as well.
Yep. And then you had an arena. Yeah, exactly. And then you had all the hotels. What was neat was all the hotels were interconnected. Like, they all had sky bridges that connected to the McCormick. So you could actually, it was so cold outside, but we could wear t-shirts because you technically never had to leave
The Yorktown station, right?
it was the York. That's so good. Oh my gosh, it was the Yorktown station.
We're all connected in the Yorktown. We had a Starbucks in the Yorktown.
All right, day 2. Let's talk about day 2. This is when Toddy finally arrived. Should we show? No, we should shout it out. So if you guys go and watch the Text Trek live stream for day 2, where he was going through in the morning and showing all the stuff, you can see me and Toddy meeting in person for the first time. And it's awesome. I went back and watched it. It gave me so much joy to see
Live.
that. It was live. Yeah, it was pretty cool. Tell us your first impressions, because that would be your first impressions. Like, when you arrived, like, what were you feeling? How did it feel? Like, tell us about that.
I was giddy. I was giddy to get in and like start meeting people and seeing people. Like, one of my first thoughts was how you weren't there yet. I'm gonna be honest. I was expecting like Starfleet Boy to already be there. I thought you would be inside, and then you would, because you had like the 9 o'clock like pass, like you could get in from 9 to 10. I thought you were already inside. You were gonna come out and like meet us, and I was like, oh no, I'm bummed he's not here. But no, it was like, I don't know. It felt very natural. Like, it didn't feel awkward, or it felt very like you walk into this place and you don't feel alienated at all. Like, everyone's wearing Starfleet uniforms. Everyone's very like kind, very cheerful, very friendly, except for like maybe a couple people that are asking you to wear wristbands, but that's their job, right?
Right.
They have to be
They
insistent
were friendly about
like,
it, though. I
no,
feel
they were
like.
friendly. I'm just
Yeah.
kidding. This is like one. She was getting a bit intense.
Oh,
about the
okay.
wristbands.
Like, show me your wristband.
Show me your wristbands. I've been going through this passage every day for like every hour for the past 3 days. But anyway. No,
By the way, that was
great.
I just want to take a moment to highlight that was one of the things that I really appreciated about the convention, was that you had to show proof of vaccination or proof that you tested negative for COVID every single day. Well, the negative thing is if you weren't vaccinated. So, and then they gave you this green wristband, which was
They
your
had a
health
little
check.
booth though, didn't they, where they could do a COVID test? I think.
Yeah, I believe so. I think so. I don't know,
So
because
everyone was like,
I'm vaccinated, so I just went in
yeah,
and
everyone was
yeah.
either COVID negative or vaccinated for sure, like in the
Right.
space. And there was a lot of space to move around. Like, it wasn't a cramped kind of like Comic-Con experience that I've had in the past, where like you're really just trying to move around and pushing through people. Like, there was room to move around in this one. Like, yeah, it was good. You know, my first like thoughts and experiences were really, I was just like giddy to get in, and I was excited to see what was going to happen, and I guess it's a bit overwhelming. Like when you first walk in, it's like, oh my god, there's like a lot of things to do, a lot of things to see, and you just have to like, I guess, pace yourself and be like, okay, I'll go to this and just look at this, and then we'll go to that and look at that, and over the course of the next few days, I'll have time to like really take it all in, I guess.
Agreed. So the first panel of that day was Star Trek Lower Decks, and it was
Yeah.
pretty awesome. The cast all. Oh, I have the little introduction video for that. Let me go ahead and put it on here. This is fun. I don't know if you guys have seen this already online. I think I shared it online as well, but I'm not sure. I shared a couple things, but I can't remember because it was like so crazy. Here we go.
We are introducing Jerry.
Did you hear that fine?
Yeah. Jack Ransom is like a super energetic, constantly happy person.
You mean Jerry O'Connell?
Oh, sorry, Jerry O'Connell. I said Jack Ransom, so I'm saying Jack Ransom. I guess the same applies to Jack Ransom, but like Jerry O'Connell is just like the sweetest soul, right? I didn't manage to get a picture with him, sadly.
They were in character for these reveals, and it's so awesome. Look, he's like lifting that weight. By the way, they gave that weight away at the end. They all signed it, and they gave it away to an audience member, and they also gave the Boimler plate away.
They made an event of this particular panel and having them in costume because this was the first time that the Lower Decks cast were able to do this.
Yeah, it's true.
Because since they've created the show, like since the inception of the show, there wasn't COVID in the way, so they haven't been able to actually do like a panel and be together and everything. They also threw the Geordie Bears into the crowd.
The background chime? Oh, the music.
What? What are you talking about?
Jill doesn't like the background music.
Yeah, I don't know why they didn't go with just like Beyond music.
No, my music.
Your music.
It's too chill.
It's too chill, it's too mellow.
Maybe it's too mellow.
But
Look
no,
at the-
I'm a little puzzled as to why they didn't go with like Star Trek music for like all of these reveals and stuff.
Yeah, it is kind of funny.
Maybe it's like hype music, right?
I think the Lower Decks theme would have been perfect though to introduce them,
Yeah,
don't you
I
think?
think so.
But it might have been a little too Galaxy Quest. Like remember when they're being introduced on stage, they're playing the Galaxy Quest.
Oh
theme.
come on, Galaxy Quest reflects reality anyway.
It does. It's
So
true.
can't we
it's true.
reflect Galaxy Quest?
But yeah, you're right. It would have been awesome since they were in character if they had done the Lower Decks theme. Dun, 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 dun. Let me see if I can change this
we all
background
kind of
music.
sung it. I guess,
Yeah, we did.
because They showed us an exclusive clip for season 3 that we cannot talk about.
Yep, we cannot talk about it.
We're not allowed. But Mike McMahon also insisted that they could keep like the opening theme, and that we could show the opening theme so that we could all like kind of rejoice and sing it and have fun with it live, because I think he was really proud and really hyped to see like the opening credits of the show like on the big screen like that, and hearing the music kind of like blast into his ears. I think he was enjoying that.
Yeah, I think so too. Mike McMahon was super hype about everything.
Yeah.
He was like really happy. Did you get to see him on the floor at all?
No, I missed him on the floor. I didn't see any of. I only saw like Jerry O'Connell on the floor, because he grabbed a picture with Fathery, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And so
I got a picture with Jerry O'Connell too. I was very happy
Oh,
about
okay.
that.
Well, Braxton was like pushing me into like Jerry O'Connell's arms to get a picture, but then he had to run off, because like they've got things to do.
Oh,
So
you
I-
didn't.
so I didn't.
Oh,
get
you
that.
didn't. You were the one that didn't get that picture.
Yeah, I missed it.
I'm sorry to hear that.
That's
Here,
okay.
I've got this. Let me see
It's
here.
okay.
Here's some day 2 floor action with Toddy. That's us. That's the other meeting for the first time perspective photo.
So this is my first cosplay.
Yeah.
too. So yeah, I had to go all out and spray my hair.
Do we have a
Purple.
picture of you in like a full body picture?
I
of
don't
you
think
in the
so. I don't
cosplay?
think we got one. Or like
I got one here. I found one. Hold on, let me see. I'm trying to find a different one, but I think this one here is you and Fathery standing in front of the Star Trek Delta.
yeah, we did
the
the
Starfleet
Delta.
Delta. Yeah. So here you go. You can get a good look at the cosplay this way. Is it gonna let me?
My
say?
interaction with Jack Quaid was that he was like, "I love what you did with the hair." He said, "I should have done the same thing." They gave me a wig, and so I told him, "Yeah, like the wig was a bit intense. It was a bit high, like the wig that they gave you." He's like, "Yeah, it was just like it was so much." So I think maybe in the future he might have like a spray on for his hair, or maybe they'll. I mean, maybe they can, because it's the whole thing taking the spray off. So maybe they can give him another wig, but just a smaller
Right.
wig, something that's not as like Johnny Bravo-ish, I guess.
Johnny Bravo. Now in the vendors room, what was your what was the most interesting booth that you saw?
I guess the Strange New Worlds thing was really interesting because you got to see actual things from like the set. Like actual like you know costumes and props. Like I really what stood out to me from the Strange New Worlds one is like the tricorder, the phaser. Um and
Oh yeah, I saw you when you pointed that out. You were just like very hyped for it. Here's your
yeah.
picture of it. Can I share your picture here?
Yeah, go ahead. Share whatever you want.
There you go. So there's the phaser and the and the communicator, and then whoops, hold on.
And so this is not like these are not TOS props. These are Strange New Worlds props.
Right.
And I think that they're just so perfect, right?
Right.
They feel new and high quality. Like there's a production value to them, but they also feel so much like the original series stuff. I think that they're absolutely beautiful.
Right. No, I agree. They're remarkable looking to me. Here's some I guess we'll just go ahead and show some more like uniforms because we got some pictures here. So there's Spock.
Yeah.
Which is your favorite uniform? Here's those cool like pieces of artwork.
So yeah, this is concept art that they were doing.
Mm-hmm. That's one of my favorites right there.
This one, this planet, that feels like the Discovery,
the ice planet.
Yeah,
right?
the ice thing.
There's Dr. Mabenga's tunic, which has like a thing I think that comes off. It kind of recalls the TOS, like how Dr. McCoy was. And
these pants are so tight. Like my calves couldn't fit in these pants that they've got going for like the Strange New Worlds crew.
This is Hemmer, and you're cracking me up. Do you want to tell the audience what your first impression of Hemmer
I made a note about the pose that they gave the guy. I feel like the pose is a little weird. Like everyone's standing very straight, and for some reason, dude's bending forward.
And his eyes were closed, and so you're like...
his eyes are closed because he has a head. No one else has a head, but they wanted to show off the prosthetics, I think, for the head here. But yeah, I was just like, why is he bending forward like that? Is this like maybe it's a character trait? Maybe it's a thing that they did with the Ano. So, yeah,
I think it's just the mannequin. I think it's just the mannequin. But here's a really nice look at this. It looks like they actually brought in like the prosthetic or something.
I think they did. I think they brought like the prosthetic from like I don't know if they do multiple, like in case something happens, but I think maybe they brought one in to stick on the head there to show everyone. I
think so too. Here's a look at what the main stage looks like, which is pretty cool as well. It was a huge stage, right? How many people do you think it sat?
I don't know. It was never filled right to the back, because like the back was pretty far. Like they planned enough seats. But yeah, no.
And there was plenty of room to stand if you wanted to as well.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Do you have the picture of Jack Quaid? Oh yeah, I got it. Did you already post a selfie of you and the crew of Lower Decks? This was. Yeah, I feel like this was like, you did this so well. You're such a good selfier.
I got told off by wife because I didn't even put a hashtag or nothing. I didn't write anything. I just posted the picture with nothing. But yeah, look at his hair. Look at Jack Quaid's hair. They gave him a wig that was maybe a little intense, but yeah.
It's a little intense.
So a lot of these pictures, I wasn't really allowed, I guess, to take. Like I was allowed because Mike McMahon said yes, But they were doing a thing where people could just take pictures of them because they were standing, and so like people got a couple pictures. But then I insisted my way into it. I just said, "Can I get a selfie?" But I used the fact that Jack Quaid was pointing to me because I had the Boimler cosplay. So I was like, "Okay, this is it. This is my chance."
This is like a really awesome chance that you took advantage of, because that's a great photo. I would like frame that photo. It's so good. It's like really good. Yeah. I mean, you got the creator himself and most of the cast. By the way, Eugene Cordero was off doing something else, and they sent his regrets. What's that?
Yeah, he was disappointed he couldn't come.
Yeah, especially because he would have had the yellow tunic, so it would have been really cool to see it. And of course, Noelle Wells didn't go all green, which I'm happy, because I think that would have been a lot and intense, because she's got to do the signings and everything like that. But she did put on green eyeshadow, which was pretty cool. So
I looked Mike McMahon did in the eye, and I told him I thanked him for the show. I said thank you for the show. He probably won't remember, but maybe it'll get blended into like the general thankfulness that he felt.
Right.
Because I think that's what I think they might not like remember specific interactions, but I think like if we can all participate to them having like a positive experience and like having like compliments about their show, I think that's what's good, right?
Totally agreed. Daniel says, what I liked about the main stage was that the stage was a decent size, but it was totally possible to get a good seat and be as close as possible to the action as you could.
We were there always like, so our man Starfleet Boy here was always like front row. Because he had the VIP experience. So
I had to use it. You can't buy the VIP.
I can't hate on you. I can't hate on you. Sitting, like underneath the actors, that's fine. You're good. But we were able to get seats that weren't too bad. Like this is one of the seats where we were the furthest away, I think. But yeah, no, we got some good seats, like because we were always there 15 minutes before it started. That's Braxton and me.
That was the nice thing, is you only needed like about 15 minutes before, except for like the really big panels. So after Lower Decks, we had George Takei. Right? Was that the next one?
I think it was. I think that's. Are you checking the app?
Yeah, I'm actually checking the app.
He's checking the app. Yeah, there was Lower Decks, George Takei.
Yeah, George Takei, and then Star Trek Discovery came on after that.
Discovery and Strange New Worlds.
And Discovery, Strange New Worlds, and then Sunday was started with Prodigy, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. So yeah, Strange New Worlds was also ended the day with Strange New Worlds. But here's
I don't want to take away from like Father East Thunder, because he might say this like in his live stream, but I think he's right, because we were talking and he was saying that perhaps Las Vegas will stick around, and Las Vegas will be like more of a celebration for like the older shows, whereas these missions that Paramount Plus are organizing might be more of a celebration for like the current shows, right? Because this is an opportunity for them to promote the current shows that are coming out.
That's an interesting thought.
And so I think like he might, talk more about this later or share some more thoughts, or maybe you could like prompt him, because he knows about like Las Vegas and the cruise and etc. Like we don't. This is our first thing, right? We were convention virgins.
We were. We got our first convention under our belts finally, so we're now experts. I just have this.
That's how it works. After one experience, you're an expert, right?
You're an expert. Just one experience, and you're good. Here's the little. I just want to show this video because I don't think we're gonna have time to show it on Father's show later on. But here's the video of George Takei's entrance. Let's see here, and do that, and then here we go.
Like this music is not appropriate for George Takei, right? Like I know it's hype, but I mean,
yeah, I kind of agree with that. It's our pleasure. It's been a lot of fun, sharing the experience so far. But there he is. He looks good.
Indeed.
I guess if you're looking for things to check off on your...
Thank you for the introduction. We are.
Oh, I stopped
We are
recording.
what? What are we? My goodness. Oh my god, he's killing me. He cut him off. What are you doing?
Can I just poke a little fun at our friend Robbie? I pulled a Robbie. I ended it in mid sentence. Shout out to Robbie.
Does Robbie cut his mid-sentence?
What's that?
Does Robbie cut his streams mid-sentence?
So,
I
like,
guess, once
sometimes-
Starfleet Boy starts rambling, you just gotta cut him off. Right?
Yeah, he does it to me a lot. Robbie will like
end it.
and then he starts giggling because I keep talking and I don't realize the stream has ended, right? And then he
That's
just
so perfect.
he starts giggling.
Good on you, Robbie. Keep on doing it.
But yeah, the George Takei stuff was really fun, and he threw some shade at
The
some
Earl Grey cutaway. I love it.
Earl Grey cutaway. I like that too. They should have played "Oh My" by Ringo Starr.
My wish, PJ, is that you could join us next time. You and
Yes.
Gary. Like I want everyone to.
Yeah, we have to
join
meet
in
all
the
of our
fun.
online friends. That would be really cool. Let's see here. What was the next panel? After George Takei? Well, real quick highlights on George Takei. The thing that was the coolest thing to hear him talk about, but also the saddest thing, was his experience during World War II with how Japanese Americans were being treated in the United States. I thought it was very eye-opening, and he was just drawing a lot of parallels to stuff that's going on in the modern times, and he does have a good perspective, and was just sharing like his own approach at how to sort of counteract racism and things like that. And yeah, it
So
was
there's a horror show that comes out called The Terror.
The Terror.
Yeah, The Terror. And so season 1 is about like His Majesty's ships or Her Majesty's ships, I forget, but UK ships doing something in the Antarctic. But season 2 is it's a little more supernatural, but it does very much address the concentration camps, the Japanese concentration camps that were going on in the US, because it's about Japanese Americans being locked up, and George Takei is in that.
Oh, okay.
And so I wanted to ask him a question, like get up there and ask the question and ask him like how it felt or how he was able to be that, because they recreated like one of these Japanese concentration camps that he was in as a child. They recreated them for like the filming of the show. And so I wanted to I didn't know what kind of question to ask about that, didn't know how to formulate that. But also I'm very socially awkward, and I have social anxiety, and I'm a nervous wreck, and I cannot stand up in front of like this big ass room with all of these people and ask a question on a mic. I will never get to the end of my question. I will break down and cry and not be able to do that. So I didn't.
You would actually cry? I kind of want to see. No, I would never put you through that.
I'm just too nervous to be able to do that. Like I become all red. I'm unable to properly, I can casually talk to like an actor, if it's just him and me,
and do videos too. You can be on live streams.
I'm not too bad with videos if I like really prepare what I gotta say.
Yeah.
But like, but anyway.
Here's the disco.
I think it must have been interesting for him to go back to that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. Here's the disco cast introduction.
Show love and learn about Star Trek Discovery. Show some love.
I didn't see this.
Yeah.
I am not going to take up any more time, so I'm going to bring out each.
We were at the Woman at Warp panel.
Do you have any? Oh, you do have photos from that.
We have a couple pictures, yeah.
Let me pull them up.
Mary Chivo! Welcome to the stage, Mr. Ken Mitchell! Show some love.
It's awesome to see Kenneth Mitchell, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm really happy he came to this convention. His health, as you know, is very. His condition ALS is very advanced, but he was amazing, and he has he talks through this machine much like Stephen Hawking did, and he was able to convey a lot of funny jokes, and it works. It's great. There's David Ajala. Toddy's David Ajala. Look at my camera work, how great it is.
Hold it, impeccable. It
That was my
looks like an
homage.
episode of Discovery. It's so shit. I'm sorry.
Dang. Did you just say it looks like an episode of Discovery? Wow. Toddy throwing
You got
shade.
the cam down. You got it. We got the actors, we got the camera work. It's just flawless. And look, there's even lens flare.
There is less. There's actor. I always call him actor Jug Jones because
This host, this moderator, he's hyping. It's fun, He's he's going at it.
he's a comedian from LA. He was pretty funny. He did some funny things. Let's see here. Jill says, if you want to go blind, try to get through the IMDb credits for Mary Chieffo's mother, Beth Grant. She has played an infinite number of parts. Her agent must need a whole team. That's pretty awesome. Yeah. Here's the before we go to that, the disco panel, you weren't there, right?
No, we got there late because the panels were overlapping. So basically, what happens is we started watching the Woman at Warp panel, and I think maybe halfway through or somewhere near the end, a couple of people got up and left and went to the Discovery panel. But when the Woman at Warp panel began, they were like, "We understand if you want to get up and leave and go see the Discovery panel, it's okay. Like you can do that. Don't feel ashamed."
Right.
Because they had them overlap.
Right, that makes sense. Here, let me show you. I think anyways, the panel consisted of Anthony Rapp, Mary Chieffo, Kenneth Mitchell. Who else was there? Doug Jones that you just saw. Why am I forgetting? I just had them up here.
Noah, AK.
Noah Averbach Katz was there. And there was one more person I want to say. Who am I missing?
Well, you just pulled them up. We just had the video.
I lost the video.
Oh my god!
Wow,
Oh
look
my
at
God.
you. Hey, what did we say in the beginning?
Wait, Mary Chieffo, Mary Chieffo, Anthony Rapp, Mitchell,
David
Doug Jones,
Ajala,
David Ajala,
and also Ian Alexander were there. So that's
that's
the
right.
whole cast. Yeah, it took me a minute. Sorry, Starfleet Boys still waking up.
Spanning from all seasons.
What's that?
So spanning from all seasons, because
Yeah,
Mary Chieffo
exactly.
is no longer main. He's no longer in the show, but so cast from all seasons.
Yeah, I was trying to pull up the picture of it, but it's not coming up. But anyways, they were pretty awesome. There were a lot of just funny jokes that they talked about, and actually the panel went across a lot of interesting variety, of things, from the AR wall to Sonequa Martin Green as their kind of leader and stuff like that. It was good. It was a good panel. I really enjoyed it.
Blue Del Barrio is the name, I think.
Couldn't make it because they were sick.
Okay.
But Ian Alexander was there though.
Yeah. Okay. So Ian wasn't telling us about how they informed the fashion.
Oh yeah.
Of the show or rather of the character.
That's right.
With a PowerPoint presentation that we might be able to see in a future con, apparently.
Yeah, that would be pretty awesome. Oh, okay, I got this pretty cool photo of all of them. Hold on, now I found it. Okay. There, I've got Starfleet Boy has his crap together at last year. Wait, why isn't it sharing it? Oh, because I have to do this. Okay, here we go. Boom. This is them all posing at the end. It's very cute. One of the things you missed also was there was a question directed to David Ajala.
I didn't miss that. That was very emotional. I nearly cried.
Oh, hearing about it? Or you were there?
No, I was there.
Oh, you arrived by that. Yeah, then tell us from your perspective, because you were right next to it. When
I was right next to it. I was.
Yeah.
We were positioned quite close to the microphone actually. So all I had to do was turn back, and I would see, the face of the person asking the question. And in this case, seeing the face of the person was quite emotional because this person was talking about, the guy was talking about how he had lost his brother to cancer recently, and how David Ajala's journey as Book through like season 4, and I think it was Book and Dr. Colbert that had these moments where they were talking about how, dealing with loss, and cherishing the positive moments that you've had, and like having these positive moments and positive experiences with the people that have passed on, like kind of like live on through you, and that experience and that whole thing in the show in season 4 has really helped him with his struggle, with
Losing his
the
friend.
with the passing of his, I think it was his brother.
I think he said maybe brother, but I thought it was
and
friend.
it was someone very close, right?
Yeah.
Evidently, and he was getting pretty emotional with it, and like David Ajala just, I don't think he even let him finish. Like he was just like, he was already running down the stage, and he went and gave him like a huge hug, and it was very emotional because you could see that there was emotion, like David Ajala's expression, as much as the guy, and so it was a very heartwarming moment. Like these people are really human, right? They're really, really kind.
Right. No, it was David Ajala especially, and then Daniel's pointing out it was cool to run into Book at the bookshop.
Yeah, we ran into Book at the bookshop.
Which is also cool that they had a bookshop in the main thing. After the Disco panel, I did see this. I'll share more of these cosplays, but like this.
Oh my god, I didn't see that.
This is Tapao.
That's so cool.
It's so awesome. They all came together as like
foil Vulcan squad.
Yeah, it's so rad. But there's so many. I didn't get to take as many photos of cosplays.
That's cool though. It's really cool that we're putting out photos like together so that I can jack some of you guys' photos from like the because we all got different, I guess, cosplayers.
Yeah,
pictured.
Exactly. You want to see the introduction that they gave for the Strange New Worlds panel?
Well, right quick, I'm going to intervene and say that we were at the Woman at Warp panel.
Oh yeah, before we do that, I have that picture up
during
ready
the beginning
to share.
of the Discovery panel.
Hold on a second.
So like Father Braxton and I went to that, and so they had all of the Woman at Warp cast, as you can see, they were all up there, and Jesse was like a special guest. And they were all talking about they were talking about women in Star Trek, and I guess being othered, like woman and woman of color, and how that can relate to like real life. They were talking about interesting topics like coding, like behavior coding, like how women are expected, or so, like some women of color are expected to change their behavior based on like the environment that they're in. That kind of stuff. So it was actually very interesting and very engaging a panel. Like it was like listening to a podcast, except you're like listening to it live, right?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
So it was cool to not only be able to support like other content creators, but it was just like really engaging. And I think there were very, very few people that ended up leaving and going to the Discovery panel. Like people stayed and finished, and we were waiting in line to say hi to Jessie, because Jessie's got like a fan club. Like people were waiting there to say hi and to meet and greet her.
It's Jessie Gender.
So she took the times, like she interrupted the whole fan thing to come and say hi, and I got a Jessie hug, and like it was really cool.
That's really awesome. Here's the intro to the Strange New Worlds panel for everyone. Henry Alonso, yeah,
okay. So Henry Alonso Myers,
yeah. So now we have.
So this guy's gonna be the main guy apparently. Like I guess under Kurtzman and Goldsman, like Henry Alonso Myers is gonna be the dude that's gonna.
Next up, we have playing Uhura.
Celia Gooding. Celia Rose Gooding. I love her. She's like my favorite addition.
I'm sold.
Yeah, that's right. You got to tell your story that she sold you on it. Look at her. She's fabulous. She's wearing this like awesome sparkly dress.
Put your hands together.
The dress is truly not as sparkly in these videos. I noticed that when they would film them on the screen there, like there was no sparkle, but when you would look at her, it was.
She sparkled.
It was like, oh my goodness. There he is. Young Spock. little Spock.
Not quite little, but yeah.
Yeah. This is number one.
Number one.
Married to number one.
That was cool to see them together. By the way, they were on the floor.
She totally wins. She totally wins the number one at home. Like she's the bigger number one.
And last but not least, your own Captain Christopher Pike. Make some noise for Anson Mount.
What is this?
There he
music?
is.
Sounds like a game show.
By the way, we were all hoping to see the opening credits. We didn't get that. Even my friends who have seen the first 5
This
episodes.
man is like the embodiment of sex appeal, right? Like, how does he do that?
They talk about it too, I think.
Yeah, well, she's going nuts over him.
Say that I could not be prouder to be a part of this community. And what's special about this community is, unlike a lot of media relationships or TV shows, we get to come here and do this. And we get to be a family. We get to be in the same room and rejoice in the enterprise together, right? So there are things that, right?
Anyways, that's all I had.
He's already got these ramblings going on. So I can't wait till in like 25 years he's the George Takei, he's the William Shatner that they bring up on stage alone, and he's like unscripted, on the loose, just talking.
You're like waiting for that, right?
Well, you know what's gonna happen.
Let me see if you have some photos of that panel here. Yeah, you have a cool photo of showing everyone applauding, but they're all far away from it. What was your highlight from this panel?
I think my biggest highlight. So there were two things. There's one thing that is kind of ridiculous, and one thing that is, I think, important. My ridiculous highlight is the turbo lift, because the scene that they showed us.
Wait,
is like,
yeah, we don't want to get too much though, but yeah, they showed us the scene, the bridge scene. We already talked about it, but turbo lift. Fine, we saw the turbo lift. Go on, anyways.
No, we're not gonna get it. Like, we're not gonna spoil. But
right.
I just want to say that I'm not one, and I think everyone knows this. I'm not sold on the aesthetics that they're going for. Like, I find it's too modernized. But I will say that the turbo lift was perfect. I don't want to say, I guess I can't say too much about it, but I was sold on the set design in these final shots that we saw, because this is the final cut that we saw, right, for an actual episode, and I was completely sold on the set design. And the second thing is Celia Rose Gooding. I wasn't necessarily convinced with the casting originally. I was like, I don't know, maybe she doesn't resemble Nichelle Nichols enough, in my opinion. I can see the other actors coming through with Ethan Peck and Anson Mount, and even Rebecca Romaine, but I couldn't really see it through Celia. But her voice is what sold me on it. She's nailing this Uhura voice, I think. And so that paired with the fact that Celia can sing, and
Gives
that
you hope
she is a younger, she's like a cadet. I think she's a younger version of the Uhura that we know. All of that blended together, it got me sold. I was like, okay, this is good. I see the casting now, and I appreciate it, and I'm sold on it. So that was my big takeaway from that. I was happy about that.
I think it's interesting that they had all these cool perspectives about their characters, and I liked hearing about how they prepared for everything. And I also like that Celia R. Gooding, she's interesting to me because it seems like she might be the youngest cast member, so she's kind of the same as Will Wheaton, perhaps, The other cool thing is that she's non-binary, so I think they're gonna bring that spin to Uhura's character, which is good. I like that a lot as well. So yeah, there's gonna be a lot of interesting things. And it's something.
I don't think so. I don't think they're gonna do that. From what I understood, I don't think they're gonna do that.
Really?
No, I
They
don't think so.
That's the impression I got, but we'll find
Okay,
out.
perhaps.
But even if they do it, it's fine because people can change their, orientation throughout, and their gender identity throughout their lives if they want to.
I think it's also important to like be able to have like I guess like a casual enough relationship to like how sexual orientations and sexual identities are, that you can have like Celia Rose Gooding. She identifies as non-binary, but she can play Uhura, like
Right.
a woman. You know what I
Right.
mean? If they want to make her like female in the show.
But I mean, that's the other thing is that someone was pointing out, there's like kind of a built-in way in TOS for you to kind of do anything you like, exploring the Uhura character. Is that, remember, her memory gets erased, so she could be a different person after that.
I guess.
Yeah.
I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see how they handle it. So I have admittedly kind of I have faith in the show, right? I feel like they're gonna handle it quite well. We're seeing trailers that seem a little action packed and a little explosion-y, but I don't think that reflects what the show is gonna be. I think they're pulling a Beyond. Like, you remember how the trailer for Beyond was like all not at
everyone
all
was
like
like,
how the movie
oh no.
was?
And well, that first trailer they released was kind of hot.
But like, you can go back and watch these like season or episode trailers for like TNG, and they make it seem like the coolest Star Wars thing that you've ever seen, right? Like, it's just, but like that's not what it is. You cut to TNG and it's like Picard going clock pluck pluck on a bridge, right? Like, it's not at all explosions and madness. So
Right. That makes sense. I like what Daniel's saying here. Kate Mulgrew made this great statement about how a lot of Trek shows are about found families in the past. My biological family members had taken me to cons, but this was the first con I went to by myself, and it was a bump to wall around, meet new people, make new
walk, I suppose.
become a part of this bigger fan community, and hanging with you guys, discussing things with you right there, face to face, getting beer spilled all over me made me feel a part of a new kind of family. Yeah, Father spilled beer on Daniel's
Father is very
lap.
apologetic about that, but
Yeah,
you know, it makes the
Father's
interaction all the more real. You can't get beer spilt on you with a podcast, right?
That's right. You cannot. What's the next panel? It was Star Trek Prodigy.
Yeah, that was the next day.
Yeah, that was
Day
the next
3.
day. So we're on day 3.
Magicians
Let's change
behind
that.
Prodigy.
What are you doing?
Yeah. Hold on. Wait, did I? Yeah, because
Then
Strange New Worlds
please
ended day
make some
2.
noise for the executive producers of Prodigy, Dan Hageman and Ben Hebone.
Is that how you say Ben Hebon?
I would think so. Ben
That's
Ibon.
cool. I've
I
been
would
saying
say Ben
Hibben,
Ibon.
so I'm
I
glad.
would say Ben Ibon. But he's not French, he's Swiss.
He's Swiss, but Swiss from the French side.
Well, I guess. Because, like, there's 3 sides to Swiss, right? There's German, Italian, and French.
And French, yeah.
Okay, we have a
For those that
very
don't
special
know,
guest on the panel.
Ben Ibon
Are you
is
ready to meet
so he's one of these executive
main
producers, but he's the
character
guy that
Prodigy
animated
doll?
the sequence from the Harry Potter films. You know, what's it called? The relics there. What are they called? The 3 things: the stone,
He did, yes, the story about the 3 brothers.
3 brothers.
The
Yeah, that
parallels,
animated
yeah.
sequence, which is the best moment in that film.
So here's the doll that Jill was saying was kind of creepy because it
He
had like
creeps
a.
me the fuck out. I'm sorry. I'm
And last,
Kids love it though. Kids love it.
I don't know. He's got that endless, never-ending smile there.
make some noise for
Look at
Kate
him. Look at him. He's looking straight at you. Oh my goodness. How terrifying.
Did part of you think that he was gonna take off the mask and it would have been Brett Gray underneath? I wish Brett Gray was there. I wish the kids were there. I wish the rest of the cast were there. It would have been nice.
Yeah.
But this panel was fun
It
with.
might be a bit more difficult because I think a lot of these voice actors are younger, right?
Yeah.
So maybe it's not as easy to get them out.
Maybe. Did you hear me yell
You're
Admiral on the bridge?
Screaming Admiral on the bridge.
Yeah, I totally was. Like 3 people laughed at it though. They were like, "Yes." 3 people. I was hoping that Kate Mulgrew would hear it and be like, "Damn right." uh, but yeah, we already talked a little bit at the beginning of the show about this panel, but some of the other things that were interesting is that they already have 40 episodes written. So
Yes.
that's exciting, right?
Yeah, I made a
'Cause
mistake when I tweeted out. I was so excited, and I tweeted out.
said
that there were
Lower
40
Decks
episodes
did.
of Lower Decks. And
Yeah, I
you
like that
corrected
Aaron
me.
Walke was like, we also have.
We also, I was like, damn it, I was talking about your show. God damn it.
I
Anyway,
was
made a
actually
mistake.
talking
So
about
yes,
your
there
show.
were-
Yeah, it's
I don't know
true.
about Lower Decks, but there were 40 episodes written
Written.
of Prodigy already, which is 2
That's
seasons.
exciting.
Because they're doing 20 episodes per season. So yeah, that's like a lot of episodes. That's why, like, during the panel, I was like, yo, that's almost as much as like what Rick and Morty have out currently.
Wait, what do you mean Rick and Morty only has 40 episodes?
Rick and Morty has 51 episodes released currently.
That's all I have to watch to catch up to Rick and Morty is 51 episodes?
I'm
Really?
sure they probably have 40 already written, right? Like, but as it stands, they only have 51 out. And so to think that Prodigy is already at like 40 written, but then of course, like, that
Wow.
doesn't mean they animated yet. That's going to take forever to animate, right? Because it's a whole
Well,
whole
Benny
thing,
Bond
but-
told us that it takes roughly per episode. I mean, there's a lot of overlap. They're working on many episodes at the same time, but that it takes roughly 2 to 3 months per episode, depending on the complexity, to complete one single episode. One of the interesting things that I found was every kid that they asked who's your favorite character, they said Murph.
Yeah.
Every single kid, right? Like there was
Well,
not
there was
one
like
other...
at least 3 or 4 kids that were like Murph, and there was even a kid that hasn't seen the show yet, and he's like, based on the trailers, it's Murph.
I say Murph, yeah, it's true. That was funny. I thought that was funny.
Murph is our Grogu, right? I guess.
I guess Murph is like a
I hope the
Grogu.
metamorphosis that he goes through isn't gonna like he's gonna keep a certain, like, I guess, niceness to him, like a certain cuteness to him, right? Because they can't destroy this. They've created this favorite character based on looks, I'm guessing, and maybe voice though. But yeah.
But yeah, it is funny that Murph was the was the character. So afterwards, you got this sick
There is
picture.
no Prodigy Rick and Morty connection, BJ. It's just that there is none. It's just my mind went to Rick and Morty has been out since like ages ago, and they're only at 51 episodes, whereas Prodigy, they've already written 40.
Yeah.
So that's the only connection there is. I'm just amazed at how quickly Prodigy is advancing, I think.
Well,
But
they're
then,
working. They had like 2 years, I guess, right? Kind of, or 3 years. He said it's been in development for 3
It's been in
years, so
development for a while.
for a long time. So they were developing for a year, and then they started working on it for 2 years. Here's you and writer and producer Aaron Walke, who's
Walke,
such an
yeah.
awesome person to interact with
So
in general.
kind.
He's so generous with his time. He's like such a loving and giving fan of Star Trek. Like he's happy to talk about anything Star Trek related. I was like I was trying to get a good seat for the next panel, so I didn't hang out with him as much as you guys did. But I kept getting FOMO, so I kept popping
I
back
don't know
out.
if we're allowed to talk about the next episode that he's written. I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think we're allowed to say.
Okay, but they informed us about like what kind of
No, that was fine to say. Actually,
allowed
that
to
wasn't
say
like
it?
a secret. Yeah, because I tweeted it out too.
Oh,
I
okay.
remember. Yeah.
So Aaron Waltke, in like I guess keeping in tradition with the way he wrote his first episode of Prodigy, which was like all about like the holodecks and having Odo and Spock on. He's doing more TOS Easter eggs by bringing back Your One True Love,
Yes.
Ensign Garovic.
The one of the few red shirts that that actually survives. And I shared your video. Which, by the way, I always have handy. I don't know if you know this.
You always have it handy. You have it like just ready to show.
Yeah, I don't know if you know this, but here we go. This is the video. So this character's coming back. We don't know much more about it other than that. But this was like a cool moment
That
to
seems
me.
like a rough video, people. I was doing it live while we were having our TOS discussion.
I know
I'm
you
like,
did that really quick.
I managed to like green screen Ensign Garovic onto your face and slapped all the filters on it and everything.
That was rad. I got a picture with Aaron Walkie too. I'm not gonna pull it up because
And
I can't
Father Ray,
find.
I think we all got one.
Yeah, we all got one. I think Braxton too, maybe.
Well, I tweeted my selfie with him, and you guys can go check out my tweet because you replied with your selfie and Father Ray
Oh
replied
yeah,
with
yeah.
his. So they're all out there,
They're all out there.
and you
it's
can see
true.
that Aaron Wolke is pulling his convention smile.
Yeah, Aaron Walkie, unlike myself, practice his smile. I think I'm gonna do that for next time, so that I can have the same smile. But up next, you attended this panel as well? I think after that we had the William Shatner panel, right? Did you guys go to another side panel in between that and William Shatner?
No, I ran off to try and get some autographs. I ran off to see how the queue was doing for Kate Mulgrew. Most of my day 3 was just scoping out the queue for like Kate Mulgrew, and every time I went there, it was longer. So I was like, you know what? I can't deal with this. It's too long. I'll do it next time. So I had a discussion. I was just chatting with Matt, and then I was like, okay, we better get back there because I'm gonna go see the Shatner panel.
We can't leave the. This is a great picture. I hadn't seen it yet. We can't leave this Prodigy thing and go to Chatner though until
Oh yeah, okay. There
until
go.
we show this here. So what was it like in person? Is he creepy also?
He's creepy. I told him you're creepy, yo.
You actually told him?
I told him. I was like, "What's up with this smile?"
Toddy
Like,
has
man.
a lot of absolute candor moments at the convention, apparently. I'll let you tell it if you feel comfortable with it. That's
They all
funny.
went down quite fine, actually, because he just.
Of course.
Yeah, they had a laugh. I don't know if it's a boy or a girl underneath there.
I don't think it matters, but yeah.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't matter. But there was because like the person's not talking, but the person did laugh.
Did it sound like Brett Gray at all?
No, you would think it's like undercover actors there. I don't
Or
know.
undercover boss?
Undercover boss. It's Alex Kurtzman. He's walking around as doll.
That's Alex. Oh my gosh! This whole time, Alex
That would be so
Kurtzman.
funny.
Would it be hilarious if that was like Alex Kurtzman underneath the doll
just walking
thing
around
the
with
whole
a
time?
doll.
He's just like
What a
trolling
technique.
everyone. He's
What a
trolling
technique.
everyone. And oh, sorry, I didn't mean to. Play. Well, I guess we'll just play that. Here's William
Roll the
Shatner's.
clip, yo.
Roll the clip. Here's William Shatner's introduction.
You have like the fact that he just starts talking without even sitting down.
I don't think I took. I don't think I took too much. I like how his pants look like the captain's pants from Star Trek V a little bit.
Thank you. That's
He jumps immediately into his like.
screaming. Sit
His
down.
topic.
It's embarrassing.
Well, that's a very Shatner thing to say.
How are you, everybody? I can hardly make you out in the dark.
All the actors kind of were like trying to see faces, and you can't see them from the main stage apparently,
Okay, well,
which is really funny.
The clip cuts off, but basically he doesn't even sit down. He starts walking behind the couch. I think maybe he go gets water or something. But he's like immediately. I got to tell you about this story about like Harley Davidsons, and they made me ride a bike, and it's like
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
He's like immediately into it. He's unscripted. He's like uncontrolled. He's just going at it.
The Harley Davidson story was hilarious, though. It was really funny.
I mean, his panel went by very quickly. I had a lot of fun. Like I was enjoying the stories that he was telling. Right.
You liked? Did it feel like a little bit like grandfather sitting at the?
All three of them, Takei, Shatner, and Koenig, felt like either a grandfather or an old uncle that was telling a story. And like some of the stories you're not very interested in, and some of them you are very interested in. But it feels like an experience. It's like a very respectful experience that everyone's just sitting there and listening, and it's something that you can appreciate.
Yeah, I did feel like that sense of like that.
They're like showing so much fucking Kurtzman shade in the comments here. EJ and Jill.
Oh really? Let me see. Let's see here. Oh yeah, I see.
I love it though.
Except Marcelo, that's hilarious. But the other thing he talked about that was pretty cool was his space flight. And
That's
Toddy,
really affected him. That's changed him.
yeah. You actually enlightened us as to what it's called. It's called the overview effect. That very few people who've
Shout out to Kyle Sullivan,
who
over
actually
at
put that
Expertise,
into you.
who is the one that told me about that.
Okay, cool. That's Trexpertise, by the way.
Oh, sorry.
Right, Kyle Sullivan, right? That's his channel,
Yeah,
Trexpertise, yeah. Or is it the Trek Expert? No,
No,
Trexpertise, right?
oh, it's because I said Trexpertise. So maybe I thought
Okay.
you were correcting me on the
No, no, no,
pronunciation.
no. I
But
thought
yeah,
I
no,
thought
it
you
is.
only said
Yeah.
Kyle Sullivan, yeah. But yeah, that was really an interesting thing to hear him talk about that, and he was telling some, William Shatner has a very particular kind of sense of humor and stuff like that, and it's not everyone's bag. So everything is framed around humor. Like I don't think he was like very serious through any of it. But he was telling some interesting, funny, again, humorous ways of like how the Earth is interconnected, like talking about elephants and termites and all kinds of. You see, you're remembering too, right? Like I was like,
I have
"Where's
my
this?"
comprehensive list there of the topics.
Oh
that
yeah,
you know.
yeah. Tell us all the time. Tommy actually tweeted out this list. Let's see. Do
Well,
you have
as
it
he
up?
was saying them, so he talks. He has. Oh, do you want me to? You want? I can send you the tweet if you want.
Oh yeah, just tell us the
Okay. Well,
the
he
topics.
started with like Harley Davidson, and then he went on to like Blue Origin, and then he was talking about the Hindenburg, be- be- because in the Blue Origin they have helium, right?
No, hydrogen,
Hydrogen,
yeah.
sorry. And then he was
But
talking about, and then he went into global warming. And then he talked about the relation with like termites and how like nature can rebuild itself. And then he talked about elephants' ass, like elephant asses basically, and how they would rub against the termite mounds and break them. And then I don't know where like the IKEA slime experiment came into this, but he talked about IKEA and an experiment where they put slime into like a model IKEA and the slime could find its way out. But then he went back to the overview effect. So he went back to the overview effect of how it affected him, and then we hit Q&As. So it was all over the place, and it went very quick because it was just like 30 minutes to get through all of these thoughts. But it was an interesting experience. Even Matt, that originally was like, I'm gonna do something else. He ended up coming. He was like, okay, I came to see Shatner.
Like we said earlier, he's definitely a controversial figure. So love him or hate him, I just give him a little bit of reverence only because he played my favorite, one of my favorite captains of all time, which is Captain James T. Kirk. So I'd love to hear I'd love to hear his perspective on that. He didn't really talk much about Star Trek though, but I think that's good because
too much.
well, also I think it's good because he's probably said throughout his life at these various things just about everything
There was to say, yeah.
there is to say. So it's like, how much there's only so much repeating yourself that you can do. We're almost done. I see some folks are going to work. Daniel's actually going to pick up his son and come back, which is cool. So Joel, thanks for joining us in the chat there. Oh, I've got the introduction for. Okay, so for the Picard panel, I was so hype. I camped out. I didn't go anywhere. I stayed in my chair. I got a really good spot right up in the front and center, and then I went straight into I also went up on stage because I was so hype, and we showed a little bit of that earlier. But here's the let me show you the Picard panel introduction right here. We didn't get all of them, which I was a little bit surprised about, but we got a good bunch of folks coming out.
Were you expecting Sir Patrick Stewart? Like,
I was hoping for Santiago
Ryan.
Cabrera and Alison Pill. I wasn't expecting Sir Patrick Stewart, but it would have been awesome if he had come.
We won, everybody. We won. And I just got a couple words to say. It's a good time to be a fan. This panel's about to get more interesting, by the way.
They had the Star Trek wines had a booth, but you couldn't buy any wine, which I was bummed
A
about.
couple days ago, season 3 might be seeing some familiar faces. Stay tuned, everybody. Although this panel we're going to skip to season 1 and 2 because we have the amazing cast here. So, without further ado, let's introduce to the stage. First, you may know her from the touring company of Hamilton.
yeah, they made a point of saying this panel was about seasons 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Voice, but we all know and love her as Soji Dodge. Jana and Sutra, please welcome to the stage.
And
Issa
Corey now.
Briones.
Issa Briones has played so many versions of that character.
Yeah, almost as much as Brent Spiner already,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, already she's done it in just 2 seasons. She was really awesome. I hadn't seen much of Issa Briones. She's super down to earth.
Yeah, her and Evan seem like really kind and
Yeah.
really, they seem to have bonded because they're like the younger ones on the cast.
Right. Right, they definitely have a bond, you could tell. He was a dream to talk to. He was so sweet.
And he was a dream to talk to.
He was. He was so sweet.
He was very kind.
He was very, very kind. He
had a bonding moment.
I had a bonding moment because I didn't think he would remember who I was, like, from online. But what did he say? He said, "I know who you fucking are."
Yeah, that's what he said.
Gina Santos from Lethal Weapon, Linda from Ash vs. Evil Dead. I love her from Daredevil as DA Samantha Reyes. And she wasn't a little JLA pilot that never really saw the light of day, but it's the canon, the superhero canon. But we love her as Rafi. Please welcome to the stage, Michelle.
Have you seen Michelle Hurd in her other stuff, Toddy?
I have seen her in Daredevil.
Oh, okay, cool. By the way, Michelle Hurd is stunning. I just realized she was wearing a jumpsuit. I love it.
Yeah, I didn't actually notice that. Well, then I was like further away from you than you were. But yeah, she's like MCU.
Yeah.
I guess like everyone's becoming MCU at this point.
Yeah, it's
MCU
true.
is, like just so big. It's like everyone has their Marvel job, and then like they do the other things, right? This is the Borg Queen.
The Borg Queen. This is what she looks like outside of makeup. She wore the Borg Queen. She wrote.
I noticed
she was
how
wearing
she sat on the couch. She like crossed her legs and sat on the couch, like with her legs crossed. And I only noticed that because I was like, I can't do that. I'm physically incapable of like bending my legs like that.
Oh. Do you mean
I'm not
like
flexible enough?
I didn't.
If I do that, I get stuck.
Oh, okay.
You have to then like pick me up off the couch or like roll me off or something.
That's like the weirdest thing I've ever heard. But it's funny. For the Picard panel, like I know we're gonna break it down like super on text track, but I just thought that was a lot of fun listening to their stories, especially everyone's stories about meeting Sir Patrick Stewart for the first time and how he introduces himself as, "Hello, I'm Patrick." like everyone's like, I know. Evan Evagor's story was really cute for meeting him the first time, I thought, where he was so focused. He's like, "Hello, I'm Patrick," and he goes, "I'm doing well, thank you." Or something like that, right? It was like really funny. But yeah, so we couldn't get any answers out of anyone about season 3. They were very good at avoiding.
No, but you weren't even allowed to ask questions about season 3.
No, but someone did ask, and like some of them did like try to answer the question. There was someone who asked, forget about. I think it might have been. Was it Lyrical Giraffe, our friend?
No. It was a lady that. So she was the first person to ask a question, and she wanted like fun, kind of like not theory crafting, but like an imagination of what like these TNG characters would do in season 3. Right? That's what she wanted?
Yeah, exactly. And so they wouldn't even touch that. They weren't
No,
even...
because like they filmed it, right?
What's that?
They filmed it already, right?
They filmed it already, yeah. So yeah, they wouldn't...
Like, it's... You can't really invent, like, you know what they're doing. You know how these characters are in season 3, like, you know what they're doing. Or at the very least, there's, like, scripts out or something. Like, the production is underway. So it's like they couldn't really touch that. And I think they just didn't want to, like, do any, like, theory craft. Or they just didn't want to touch on season 3. This was about, like, showing love for, like, season 1 and 2.
Yeah, exactly. So, but it was funny because Annie Wershing's the only one who answered. And she said, she said she's gonna kill them all.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Which I thought that was funny. All right, so Toddy got one. I got one too. I'm missing Issa
really
Briones.
Cool. I didn't know you did it. I didn't know you pulled that off.
I did pull it off, and then I got to actually talk to Annie Wershing, and I asked her. I just said, "Oh, you didn't talk about your previous Trek." Adventure, and she's like, I know. But everyone look up the episode of Enterprise that she's on. I can't remember what the name of the episode was, but
Oh, I'm not good with names. Father will tell you tonight.
Yeah, he'll tell us tonight. He's doing all the research right now.
He
Like,
knows.
you know,
I've
he's
seen Fathery live now, like work on his stuff. There's a lot of work that goes into like behind the scenes of like the Tech Trek podcast.
Oh, you saw him working. That's right.
Like he's got the scripts and he's got like the I don't want to break the magic here, but there's a lot of work that goes into it. Like there's what we're doing here, which is just like, well, you worked a lot on like pulling these pictures together and everything, right? But yeah, no, there's a lot of work that goes into these live streams that he makes.
I didn't work too hard. You guys put pictures on on a Dropbox, and
You're pulling them up.
I'm just like showing them. But anything else about the Picard panel? Because you won't be on tonight. That you want to share about your thoughts?
No, it was fun. I liked it.
But yeah, absolutely no clues about Picard season 3.
No.
And
no, and this was a panel that was a bit different in the sense that they didn't have like any trailers or any like special little scenes that we could see from season 2.
No clues for season 2 either. Yeah, nothing like that.
Really about these characters in season 1 and 2 and like their experiences on set.
No one from the production side either. We didn't have.
Admittedly, they did talk a lot about like Sir Patrick Stewart.
Yeah.
And like how I guess their relationship is to him, and how like the TNG cast have a relationship to him. So we were hearing about behind the scenes stories, that kind of stuff.
Michelle Hurd said something cool that I appreciated about Michael Chabon, where she was like asking him about the backstory of Rafi, and he was like, well, honestly, I think you're going to inform me about that. So it gave her the chance to kind of develop her own character in a lot of ways. I mean, he wrote all these things. Like apparently he wrote a whole essay about the Romulan culture that Evan Evagora read. And that was interesting too, because he was like, Evan Evagora even said he had watched a lot of Romulan episodes basically, and yet he had to kind of like take that, both he and Annie Wershing had to take like their viewing of the previous things for Romulans and the Borg and kind of, okay, I saw them, now I have to do my own thing, because Elnor is very different from other Romulans. And this Borg Queen is a very different Borg Queen, as Annie Wershing pointed out. You know, she's not the same. She doesn't have a collective, and you know, she's in a different place. So that was cool to hear.
Yeah.
Also, Michelle Hurd didn't want to end the panel on a question that was like kind of lackluster, and so she was like, "We can't end the panel on that question. Let's ask one more question." And then the question was about Rafi, I think, and she was like, "That's what I was waiting for." She was hilarious. I thought she was funny, like with her jokes and stuff like that. But I think that wrapped up what was it? Was that the last panel for day 3?
I think so. I think it ended on Picard.
Yeah, and then we only had like a that's right.
There was Walter Koenig.
Oh, sorry. We have one more, which is Walter Koenig. Oh, we got to show the clip. I wonder if Tex Trek is going to show it tonight. I have it, so I'll just show it. Father was spoilers for tonight, but Father was able to ask Walter Koenig a question, and it was pretty.
He planned
cool.
it. He told me that was like one of the first things he told me when I got to. He was like, "I'm gonna ask this to Walter Koenig."
Yeah, he planned it, and he was the first person. He got in line,
he was sitting next to that mic, baby.
Yeah, he just got straight up and
just get up and go do it.
Here we're gonna play this in a second. It's still downloading from Dropbox, but in the meantime, I guess I'll show a picture or two of Walter Koenig. I thought it was really cool. He was delightful. He was very candid about his.
He's got some absolute candor as well, right?
Yeah, he does. He was very candid about aging, some of his memory issues. I didn't know he had like a quadruple bypass many years ago. So that's pretty cool that he's still around.
I appreciated the fact that he didn't not that I don't enjoy hearing stories from Shatner or Takei. It's just that I think that Koenig is aware that like the stories that he can tell, they've probably already been told before, like by him, by someone else. Like he's probably already gone over this. So he just immediately jumped in to like Q&A. He said, look, you guys ask the questions that you want to ask, and so like you guys can get the answers that you want. I'm not going to go into like telling my own stories.
Yeah, that was cool that he did that.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. Daniel is pointing out something that's interesting, which is I had seen Mr. Shatner at a special showing of Star Trek 2 a couple years ago, and I was interested, and was interesting how back then the whole point of his stories was the universe doesn't give a crap or shit. And this time his message is the universe takes care of us. So yeah, that is sounds like he's kind of changed,
I think
like
that kind of illustrates the overview effect and like
right,
how it's had an impact on him.
right, right. So that yeah, that's a really cool. Thanks for sharing that, Daniel. Here's the Walter
In the same
Koenig.
sense, though, I think he was also trying to convey that we need to take care of the universe as well, right?
Yeah, yeah, he was very much talking about how like what we need right now is you know what we need to do the most is to reverse the effects of like global warming and stuff.
It's in Texas. It's great.
Very true. In addition to playing Chekhov, you also wrote an episode of the 1973 animated series, The Infinite Vulcan, that had the giant Spock clone. I just wanted to ask you, are you aware that the current animated show, Star Trek Lower Decks, they actually showed the skeletal remains of dead Spock 2? Did you know that, and how do you feel about that?
No, I did not know. All 25 feet of him? Or...
Yeah, he's on display in a museum, dead.
That's amazing. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
You're gone. I can't hear
Oh,
you.
I was muted. He goes on to tell a story after that, which I maybe Father will want to play it on his channel, so I won't play the whole thing. But I was happy I got to catch that for him and post it online. That was a really cool thing. But yeah, Walter Koenig ended the show. That was the end of the panels on day 3. And
We went back to the main room and just like had a final walk around.
right,
Basically.
right. Just a few quick things. What did you think of like people there? I feel like everyone who was there was really a fan, and I was really happy to see how much of a fan the actors were about it. But there were a lot of fans, definitely, and I feel like that's the other thing is that like Father keeps saying this too is like if you're gonna schlep and make the effort to go. There weren't a lot of those. There was one guy that I saw who was like poo-pooing on the new stuff, like very vocally. But for the most part, everyone
What?
there
Did
was
you
just like
see
very
that?
friendly. Yeah, there was Father and I encountered him. He was kind of we just ignored him. But for the most part, if you're gonna schlep out
How do you
to
go
this,
about
and
doing that, though? Does he just like engage in conversation and say like,
yeah, we were looking at the
"This and this is
timeline.
garbage"?
We were looking at the timeline, and he had commented, "Oh, I'm glad Discovery's not on the timeline," or something like that. Like something rude like that. It was like funny.
Well, I'm not glad it's not my timeline. There you go.
But the other thing that you can expect to do at these conventions is definitely making friends. I feel like I made a ton of friends. It was really cool. Like so many people everyone's just like
Or at
really
least
easy to approach.
solidified like online friendships, right?
Yeah, but like also people that I didn't know before online. Like I met some new people that I started following them online. But like for example, remember Mick, who went to lunch with us and stuff like that. That was cool. I mean, to dinner with us. By the way, we hosted a meetup at the Arc Bar, and we met our friend Ian Mays and his wife Liz. They came out, which was pretty cool. And I said again, Arthur, we had met him, and a bunch of just other folks that came out for that. Larry Nemechek was really nice, and you could talk to him and stuff like that. I got to talk to Dayton Ward a little bit, so that was cool.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so that's the other part I want to talk about, which is the actors and the creators are super accessible. If they're out on the main floor, more than likely they want to talk to you. They're not unapproachable. You know what I mean? Like you'll rarely. What were you gonna say?
No, like, they're not unapproachable. They if they're out on the main floor, chances are they're going somewhere. Like they're going to like a booth or they're going to a panel.
Right.
Although the Dan Hageman, Ben Hibbon, and like Aaron Waltke, and they had a moment where they were just chilling and walking around and visiting.
I'm so sad I missed Dan and Ben because they were all so nice and they were like we're here, like they were tweeting out where they were, and I was like doing my photo op and other thing, and that's the other thing is like you kind of I think next convention I'll be a lot more now that I've experienced my first convention, like I'll have a better idea of like how to manage my time so that I can see things, but also spend time on the floor and hanging out, because I feel like a lot of action happens on the floor.
Yeah. Yeah, but when you're at the panel, you kind of like you're in the room and you're watching the panel, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But then also like I don't feel like I missed anything too big when I was watching the panels, because I feel like everyone's watching the panel, right? Like they've got a Strange New Worlds panel going on. I feel like everyone's watching the Strange New Worlds panel, as much like the actors as and the creators as the fans. Because at the end
Yeah.
of the day, we're in an era now where, like, I would say most of the creators and talent that are on Star Trek, they kind of fans of Star Trek. So you'll have like, I'm assuming like someone like Mike McMahon would be behind the scenes watching or listening to like the Strange New Worlds panel when it's happening, right?
Yeah, I think they got to see. It was interesting when they broke everything down. You could see the green room or the back area behind the main stage. There was like a huge, beautiful area with windows and stuff like that, and they were all hanging out back there a lot of times. So that was pretty cool too. It was neat. It was neat. I think that one of the best things was that they gave a lot of time, to us all, which was very appreciated. Um, After dark festivities. So that was the other thing, is like there was always, and again, I don't know how it's going to be in Seattle, but like because everyone was staying in hotels that were pretty close to the McCormick, pretty much everyone just hung out in one of their hotel bars or restaurants, which was very cool too. We celebrated Father's birthday. As a matter of fact, that was an adventure too. We walked all the way to a karaoke bar in Chinatown,
And walk back.
then walked back. You guys walked back. I took an Uber back, and then we had a fun adventure, and we met Prime Timeline Matt, and also a couple of cool ladies that were hanging out with us too.
We were kind of like
nice.
two groups that blended together, and we walked to the karaoke bar. But then some stayed at the karaoke bar, and some of us like left. So like two groups that were like now one group kind of just split off. So a couple of us went back to like this other bar called Fat Poor.
Yeah,
And then like Larry and like his group
came out.
came out to there. So like we were able to all kind of like mix together. And then like so these are Star Trek fans. Like we're all of very different ages, and I would suppose like different interests outside of Star Trek. We're all very different people. But like the love of Star Trek kind of just like creates a fact that we all huddled together at the same table, and it was really nice. It was really cool.
And it's so easy to kind of, having Star Trek as a common framework makes it really easy to get into conversations, and even like things that we were doing, we would put them in a Star Trek framework. like, like we were handling situations and talking about episodes where situations like that happen. And so it was really fun, and you find out a lot about people and what brings them to Star Trek, and I think that's one of the things that's like most inspiring. I Going home is sad. I will say prepare for that. Like, do you have a little bit of the convention blues there, Toddy?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
right. Like,
So
yeah, because it's like,
it's a good thing that we're doing this rather
right.
like I wouldn't see myself at work today just like
It's
again, it's
sad,
not that I
right?
don't like my job. It's just like when you go back to work, it's like it's such a disconnect from like what we were experiencing, a couple hours ago. That like this is cool. This is like I don't know. I'm getting my final dose here or whatever it is. Like we're able to talk about it.
Jill's asking if we have
We
any
can pull it
pictures
up.
with
If
Daniel. Yeah, let's
Daniel's
pull it up.
fine
Yeah,
with it, we'll pull it up.
yeah, Daniel, if you're cool with us sharing photos, we'll show them right now. Here, let me go back real quick to the photo album. Let's see here.
Yeah, well, the final night here, we all decided to
Get
again
deep dish pizza.
Yeah, two groups of us decided to like meld together, and we all went to Giordano's.
Giordano's, yeah.
Which is I'm not gonna say the number one Chicago pizza, but we don't know. There's like Giordano's is competing with apparently another restaurant. Like there's two competing for the number one spot of Chicago style pizzas. So we picked one. We went to one. And yeah, we had like Chicago style pizza, the deep dish traditional, right?
Yeah, exactly. Here I've got Daniel. I hope you don't mind us showing your photo. Here we go.
Chinatown was pretty big. We didn't explore all of it. We were like kind of at the entrance of it, but I feel like it was, and it was on a main road too, right? It was like on a main artery that was pretty big.
Yeah, yeah. There's probably several streets, but yeah, the main road. I can't remember what it was called.
And this is Johnny
Sumac.
here that you're seeing in the bottom of
Yeah,
in the
and
bottom
Johnny's
left.
our friend. Very cool. And
Shout
they'll be
out.
appearing. Yeah, shout out to Johnny. They'll be appearing on Starfleet Boys soon. They wanted to. Hopefully, we'll get them on, and also so will Amy Nelson, which I'm pretty excited about. So stay tuned for that in upcoming episodes. But yeah, there's Fathery and there's Daniel right next to him. Braxton, myself, and Toddy, the usual suspects.
Yeah, that's before the table got completely overrun by pizza.
Right. That's
Because
true.
then it was just like so much pizza everywhere.
I am so excited about Mission Seattle. That's happening next year in May. I think the dates are like May 22nd or something like that. I can't remember exactly.
25th to 28th, maybe. I don't know. I tweeted
Yeah.
it. I can check it out if you want.
Yeah, so that's coming up. So I already started my. Now I'm just gonna have
May
to live very.
26th to the 28th.
I'm gonna have to live very frugally now until then.
We don't
because I
yet
have to
know
save
where
up.
it's happening, right? Like what convention center. We don't yet know.
Yeah, we don't have the details. I'm gonna do some research though and see if I can figure it out. But the cool thing is I have a ton of friends in Seattle, so I'm not gonna pay for a hotel.
Are there a lot of big convention centers where these kind of things happen? Or
Yeah, there's actually, I'm thinking of one convention center in particular that's downtown where I think it's going to be hosted because they have
Hotels
Seattle
and stuff?
Comic Con there. They have like the big
okay.
gaming PAX. It's called PAX, the gaming convention.
Yeah. Oh,
So they
okay,
host that
happens
there.
Okay.
Yeah, that happens there. So I'm thinking that's where
That would
Star
make
Trek
sense.
is going to be. So yeah. And then last but thanks for sticking with us for these 2 hours. But last but not least, tonight at 8 p.m., everyone head over to Text Trek. Go set your reminders because he's going to do a really deep dive with a lot more details about the panels and everything else. And you'll get to see me and Braxton on there again. So we'll talk about our experience, but you'll also hear some perspectives from a season convention goer that's Fathery. So everyone go check that out. What do you got to promote, Toddy? What do you have coming up?
So I'm gonna do a bit of a. So I didn't release a Trek chat this month. I kind of delayed that. So my Trek chat for like this month will be coming out, I guess, in a few days, and I'm gonna try and get some like little retrospectives, some little audio clips from the people that we were with. So of course, like as you say, the usual suspects. We're gonna have Starfleet Boy and Tex Trek and Braxton, but I'm trying to get some other people too, like people that we met along the way and etc. So I'm gonna try and compile that and release that as a Trek chat. But then other than that, like video wise, I'm gonna. Oh yeah, there we are with Stuart.
Yeah.
Other than that, yeah, I'm gonna be releasing a video that will go over like my experience at this, like an away mission type video. And yeah, I also have my Discovery season 4 review coming sometime down the line as well.
All right, we'll end the stream with this lovely picture here of of the two of us hanging out at pizza. Starfleet Boy is back on its regular schedule, so this Thursday we're gonna do the Picard space that we traditionally do on Thursdays. So please check us out on Twitter.
You're not doing Sunday things?
Yeah, we are, but I gotta go in order of the days. Like Thursday's coming up, right? So that's like Picard space. Then Fridays we do TQIF, starting out with Marcelo, who does his review. He's doing these reviews of 2S, kind of like Toddy started doing, but abandoned. And no, I'm just kidding. He hasn't abandoned it. He's still doing it. He just doesn't have a timetable.
I've got a few days before I go back to work, so maybe
You might put out some content.
I can't. I can't just release it 2 days and do it, but I can at least watch an episode and like take my notes and review it. Right, that's a start, right?
Yeah, you can actually do that. And then Friday nights late at night we do Starfleet Boy After Dark. So check that out. This week we'll probably talk. I just watched the latest Moon Knight, and I'm gonna watch the latest Halo and get caught up on that. So we'll probably be talking about that. And hopefully there's a new episode of Superman and Lois out. I'm not sure if there is, but we'll definitely be talking about all those things and more. And then Saturdays we are doing our TOS discussions, and I think it's Who Gods May Destroy is the next one, if I'm not mistaken. But don't take my word for it yet. And then That's at 3 p.m. Eastern on Saturdays, and then Sundays at 2 p.m. Eastern we do our full Picard discussion, and we'll be doing the next episode, which is called Monsters. So come and join us for that discussion. Maybe you can make it, Toddy. I hope you can. But if not, that's okay.
This is Sunday, right?
Yeah, Sunday too. You don't have to confirm now. You can tell me later.
I thought
but-
you. Oh no, yeah,
What's
that's
that?
right. No, you are doing. So you're doing Picard discussions twice.
The space is it's just audio. Have you ever done a Twitter space?
I've never done that.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
just
that's right.
audio
You,
and
you do just an audio. So you do like a first impressions kind of discussion on
Right.
over on Twitter.
on Twitter.
Okay.
Yeah, and
And then you
the-
have like the more constructed, I guess, discussion going on the Sunday.
on
Maybe I
Sundays,
can
yeah.
try and maybe I can try and fingers crossed. We'll try and join.
Sweet. And then yesterday we did a on the fly catch up discussion for Star Trek Picard with Braxton and Marcelo. So if you guys want to check that out, it's on the actual Starfleet Boy actual channel. But I appreciate everyone who joined us today. Thanks for all the questions, Jill, Daniel, Joel, and PJ, and I think Blue was in the audience as well. So, and anyone else who was watching and not chatting, thanks for your time. Live long and prosper, and we'll see you at the next convention. And also, we'll just see you next time.